California. Now, I saw. So there's some of the fires in some of the areas are getting contained, but I guess the Palisades fire specifically. I think yesterday they said 11%, but then this morning I was looking at it and they said it was like 8% contained, which sucks.
So they lost containment?
I guess so, unless the 8%.
Well, hang on. I'm on the phone with Biden right now, actually. Let me ask him.
All right. Actually, could you throw that on speaker for the listeners to...
I mean, well, like I'm trying to get in.
No, you didn't.
Trying to call him.
You didn't let me finish.
Like,
You didn't. Oh. Oh. Look, I mean, if I was governor, the last thing I'd want is my state burning to the ground. But it seems like it's a stressful thing.
Yeah, that's a bummer.
But there are
ways
to deal with it, you know? I mean, man, this Gavin Newsom, he's getting a lot of national exposure. I think for a guy who really clearly had his eye on presidency, I think he still does, you know? I think he's going, okay. And I think he knew Kamala would probably not win. I think he knew it was safe. It probably was the best look possible to get behind her now, have her not win. Trump's only going to be able to do 4 years because he did 4 years before, and then that way he can jump in and be the new face of the Democrats. I think that's my instinct, and seeing the way he, slicks back his hair and
I would agree with
talks with his hands and everything, it feels more and more like this is. He's wheeling and dealing. He seems like a wheeler, and he seems like a dealer. And so, in some cases, that's very good, by the way. Sometimes you want a wheeler and a dealer because you need deals getting done and wheels getting wheeled. But other times, it's like he also strikes me as somebody who would have done extremely well politically just a few years ago when not everything was on display. When not every single person had a camera on them all the time and it was so easy to catch you. Because just at the end of last week, I saw this clip go out on the news and, KTLA, I guess is where I saw it. They've been covering everything. It's the same spot that got Gutenberg last week. But there's this mom driving around looking, and she was distraught, obviously. Her neighborhood has gone up in flames. Her kid's school has been completely taken down to the ground. I mean, it's really catastrophically crazy what's going on out there. And I guess she was just driving by and saw Governor Newsom and was like, you got to stop the car. And she had, for whatever reason, there was a film crew around her. I don't know who she was or what they were filming. But they went and talked to Governor Newsom about what was going on. And as it turns out, just as she was talking to them, he was on the phone with President Biden, like right now. When are you going to talk to him? I'm on the phone with him right now, she said. Or he said.
News.
Here, you got a second? Governor, I live here, Governor. That was my daughter's school, Governor. Please tell me what you're going to do. I'm not going to hurt him, I promise.
I'm literally talking to the president right now to specifically answer the question of what we can do for you and your daughter.
Can I hear it? Can I hear your call? Because I don't believe it.
I'm sorry. There's literally, I've tried 5 times. That's why I'm walking around to make the call.
Why is the president not taking your call?
Because it's not going through. So
Why?
I have to get cell service.
So let's get it. Let's get it. I want to be here when you call the president.
I appreciate it. I'm doing.
No, you don't understand. I'm like, when I said I was on the phone with the president right now, like, technically, once you place the call, you're on the phone. Like, if I say I'm on the phone with him right now, as long as I place the call, then I'm on the phone. Well, I don't mean I'm talking to him right now. I mean, I'm like, but it's not going through, you see. And so I feel like there was service because he doesn't say I have no service at first. He's just pointing at the phone. And I don't think he wants her to look at the bars because I'll bet he has I'm not saying he has 5 bars, but he might have 1 or 2.
This is Governor George Costanza.
This really, right now. I'm on the phone with him right now. I guess that.
He was not expecting her to be like, oh, can I hear?
Throw it on.
Oh.
Throw it on. I'd love to. Throw it on speaker, right? You got this phone doesn't have speakerphone actually, but oh yeah, you got to go. Oh okay, no, I'm just about to throw it on speaker. and he actually just had to go just now. So, but I mean, we'll get him.
No, he says hi.
I mean, can you imagine? You go to the governor, he's like, I'm on the phone right now, and right to your face.
Literally, he says the word.
Right. Go.
Literally.
Go back in case there's any sort of. Well, he didn't actually say he was on the phone with the president now. Like, I want to see if there's any wiggle room in this, because this feels like a big. You got.
Promise.
I'm literally talking to the president right now.
Oh, that's
Literally.
even worse. I'm literally talking to the president right now, as if this conversation, like, he's trying to end that conversation so quickly. Like,
Listen, you are interrupting me.
If you don't stop talking to me, I can't get anything done because President Biden is on hold right now. I wasn't going to say anything, but he is actually on hold right now. She's like, don't worry, I'll talk to him too. Oh, just lost him. I can't believe it. Just as we're standing here, I just lost him, because then he says the call can't get through. So he hasn't been on the phone with the president.
Lie after lie.
And he's like, oh my God, how do I get out of this? It's one of those things that you feel like if I just say this, it'll end. But
She
unfortunately,
will not ask another question.
Assuming there are no
I'm the
follow-ups, I'm talking to him right now as we speak, and goodbye. There is a follow-up.
These are all such unnecessary lies.
Yeah, you could just say, like, you know what? I feel you. I feel your pain. We're working on it right now. This is catastrophic. Like, there's a weird defensiveness where it's like, no, we still did the right thing. And it's like, well, you didn't. You know what I mean? Like, the state.
Yeah, instead he's like, actually, I'm talking about you to him right now.
No, yeah. Oh, hang on. If you leave me alone, he might give you a Purple Heart, he said. He just told me that. If you leave me alone right now, he might give you the Presidential Medal of Freedom. He just told me. And then he went back and corrected his statement on his way out, trying to get back into the car, saying that he had to go, I guess, because he's gonna call the president.
You keep interrupting me.
I thought, because I was so close to calling the president that I thought I was already talking to him right now.
Oh, well, now it's too late.
Now it's too late. You say you talk. I meant, like, we have an active dialogue going right now. I didn't mean he's on the phone right now. I meant that, like.
But you said literally.
No, like phone tag type of thing. Like, we're talking, but the conversations continue. Like when you're negotiating, we're talking. Doesn't mean he's on the phone right now. Anyway, I got to call the president, so I got to go. He gets out of this one.
Governor, there's water coming out there. You can use it.
I appreciate it. I'm going to make the call to address everything I can right now, including making sure people
I'd
are
like
safe.
to make sure you do. Can I have an opportunity to at least tell people you're doing what you're saying you're doing? Could somebody have a contact? Can I have your contact information?
Right there.
That guy over there, he's got it.
Which guy? Yeah, you see him right there.
Right there, that guy. I've played that game many times. That's called Send the Person to Talk to Troy while I quickly walk away. It's a great game to play, and it's very often effective. Right over there. Yeah, that guy right there. Anyway, I'm on the phone. Joe, what's up, buddy? Yeah, no, that's him. That's Joe Biden. No speaker. Doesn't work right now. Gotta go. So
that's the problem. I need cell service.
Yeah. Well, if you would
just said you were on the phone.
If you would stop interrupting me, I'd be able to figure this whole thing out.
Women, am I right?
Yeah.
What? Nothing.
That is a husband trying to get out of trouble with his wife. Like, I just took the garbage out. Because you're hoping did you take the garbage out? And you say yes. And it's never malicious. She says, did you take the garbage out? You say yes. The plan is when she leaves the room, you real quick go outside to take the garbage out. And by the way, nobody gets hurt. Everybody's fine. Everybody gets what they want. Except when she stays there and goes, when did you take the garbage out? And you're like, in your head, you're like, the garbage would already be out if you just leave the room. But now I'm in a trap. You've entrapped me, woman. I've gotten myself in a hole.
I find myself in a real pickle right now.
Because what are you going to say now? I'm going to tell you the truth. This whole conversation was based on a falsity. I did not take the garbage out. I was going to do it as soon as you left the room, but you simply won't leave the room. Mike in Florida.
Hey, what's up, fellas?
Hey, man.
I don't know why Gavin Newsom just didn't tell her that there was no fire at all, and this was just Aurora Borealis she was seeing.
At this time of year.
Yeah, at this time of day, localized entirely in Southern California. It would have been perfect. She would have never known.
Steamed hams.
But then she may have asked to see
Exactly.
it.
It's a regional thing. She would have gotten it.
That's right. That's right. Thank you, Mike. That's
All
right.
right, take care, fellas.
There's an easy out. May I see it? No. Scott in Worcester.
Yeah, I think what had happened was he called Biden, but he got his answer machine. It was like, believe it or not, Biden isn't at home.
Please leave a message at the tone. Maybe.
And then and I think the lady had a denim vest on, so Newsom gave him a fake number to a bagel store.
That's right. That's right. I got it, Scott. Thank you. Yeah. Or maybe it was. Maybe he thought he was on the phone with Biden, but Biden's got one of those fake answering machines. You know, those prank. Mm-hmm. Hello? Mm-hmm. I'm not here right now. And I started talking to your answering machine. No, lady, he got me. He got me good. This Joe Biden's got all kinds of answering machine tricks. No, it's a tough time, man. Tough time. People are just trying to figure it out. Governor Newsom's trying to figure it out. I saw one thing that there was like this group that got caught on TikTok because they didn't realize it was an inappropriate time to send up those lanterns. Those like Chinese lanterns where you light them on fire and send them up into the sky. They were trying to have a memorial service. They thought it was like a really nice thing. And it's another one of those, these are all, like, we would never do anything so stupid, I would hope. All of us would never do anything quite so stupid. But it is one of those instances where as soon as somebody points out, for whatever reason, it doesn't occur to you that this is a colossally stupid thing to do. It just doesn't, the whole group of you, it doesn't occur to anybody. You're just like, this is what we do. It's a memorial service. We're going to send these lanterns up into the sky, and it's going to be beautiful. Because you're not thinking about the wildfires. You're not thinking about the community. You're not thinking about the city. You're just thinking about whatever you're memorializing. But the minute somebody confronts you, the minute somebody says, hey, do you have any idea how stupid this is? Something clicks in where you know immediately, oh, this might be the dumbest thing anybody could do right now. But the last thing you want to do is admit it. The last thing you want to do is go, oh, well, now that you mention it, yeah, this is really stupid. But yeah, they're on the beach and it's at sunset. And they thought they were going to do something really nice. But these are literally like they warn people about these lanterns because you light them on fire and then the oxygen takes them up into the sky. So they kind of float away.
It's a beautiful thing.
It's beautiful. But if the wind takes it in a situation where there were irregularly high winds, like the kind of irregularly high winds that would start wildfires so bad it would burn down one of the most prosperous cities in our nation, then those
lanterns near that city?
Huh?
They were near that city.
Oh. Those lanterns can end up landing on like a very dry tree, the roof of a house, whatever it is, and start a small fire, which in normal situations, it's like, okay, you know, whatever. It's not going to hurt anything. But in this situation, it will hurt everything. Do you have any of the audio from it? Is there, because that's really what struck me, is the people trying to explain what they were doing. They thought that because what they were doing, like because they were not being malicious, that what they were doing was right, except clearly once it was pointed out to them, they figured out what they were doing was colossally wrong.
There's no audio on this one. Let me see if I can find the original.
Oh, on the on the posts, repost of it. Yeah, they don't want to post a link to it.
No, in fact, they block out.
The user?
Yeah.
That's really, and it says obtained by the New York Post.
We found it on TikTok.
Yeah, we found it, and we're not telling you where you can find it. You have to use our service. Well, whatever. I mean, you get it. They're sitting up, and it's the West Coast, you know, it's peaceful, right? Let's just do this on the beach over the ocean. No. Not in the middle of wildfires. Please, please, for the love of God.
Here we go. All
Terrible time to be doing this.
I'm just saying, do you think that's a smart idea? No, it's not. But is it windy? It's not. Is it humid? Is it smart?
It doesn't even matter. Are you going to go light all of Carpinteria on fire, considering what we're dealing with?
Risking the life.
Have you even gone down to LA? Do you even know what's happening? Do you know?
Why is everybody getting loud? Hey, chill. Chill. What's the vibe, man? Why does everybody get loud, man?
Air's not going that way.
It's not even windy, bro. Bro, it's not even windy. Why you gotta get loud about it? Come on, man. What's the worst that could happen? It's literally happening.
I'm working like directly in the response.
You have a permit. You have a permit from the
This
city.
is not okay.
Oh, okay. To let fire out into the sky randomly. And what's the difference having a fire pit right here?
It can easily come back down and go into the mountain.
That justification. He knows. He wants to get out of it. He knows what the difference is. What's the difference between having a fire pit in the sand next to the ocean on the beach and launching fire lanterns into the sky while wildfires are wreaking havoc in Los Angeles?
Tell me the difference.
What's the difference? If you can explain it to me, I'll refer to you as Bill Nye going forward, because this is beyond my field of expertise. What's the difference? Explain it to me. I mean, it's not, this is one of those where you don't, sometimes the strategy is to lengthen the conversation for as long as possible and hope the person that's reprimanding you loses interest because you're not winning. I don't think this is one of those scenarios. They're like, you got to stop lighting paper on fire and putting it in the sky. It's not helpful at all.
Going to the mountain.
They don't come down burn.
But they can. But they can. Yeah, they can.
The city would approve this. The police department and the fire department would say yes.
Tell them if they did.
What?
It would be prohibited if they did.
Exactly.
If you guys want to stop, that's fine.
Please stop, because we're going to tell the fire
We're just asking politely. I'm working directly in the fire response right now, and
If you want us to stop, just ask politely.
He's getting out of it. He's like, look, because he realizes his goose is cooked here.
You come at me like you're smarter than me.
Yeah, and they're like, we're just saying, you're the one putting fire lanterns in the sky during wildfires. Like, I don't know. I didn't mean to be condescending, I suppose.
working directly in the fire response right now, and it's really tragic what's happening, and I would hate, I got it. I have been going down to Los Angeles and working directly for relief.
And now they're going like, which one of us is better people?
Yeah, no, us too.
No. We've been fighting fires ourselves. We've also been fighting fires ourselves. We're the best people. No. I believe that we are the best people, as a matter of fact. I like the defense, because this is like going back to high school argument defense. If it was dangerous, why would they sell it? Like that was one of the defenses. Hey, I bought it in a store. Nobody stopped me from buying it. So how could it be dangerous?
I think we're all saying the same thing right now.
Anyway, if you could just calm down, we'll definitely stop. We were going to stop anyway. And by the way, we're not stopping because you told us. We're stopping because of the wildfires. I don't even know what you've been saying, but we are stopping because we're good people and because of the wildfires. I mean, people are absolutely crazy. Absolutely nuts, you know? I mean, I guess everybody's dealing with it. On Ricky Lake's Instagram, she had a conversation with medium Tyler Henry. Do you guys watch the Tyler Henry show? He's the young medium. I think he was on E! for a while, and now he's on Netflix. And he doodles in his notebook while he's predicting the future. Okay. While he's telling celebrities their future, and the celebrities are like dumbfounded at how he could have all this information. They can't believe how good he is. And Ricky Lake, who I love. I mean, I follow her on Instagram. That's how I know this happened.
You do?
I follow Ricky Lake?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know why I follow Ricky Lake?
Nope.
Because she came up in my recommended thing, and I forget what she posted, but I just commented on whatever she posted that she was the GOAT.
Uh-huh.
And she liked it. So I was like, that's
All
a
okay.
follow. That's Ricky
fair.
Lake.
That's fair.
And I'll stick to my ground that she is the GOAT.
That's fair. I mean,
GOAT. GOAT.
yeah.
GOAT. I mean, you could have
Goat of
multiple
what?
goats. Talk show host, goat. Ricky Lake, goat. There's a whole list of goat. Ricky Lake's top of the list.
Top of the list.
No, come on.
She's better than Jenny Jones.
Not better than Sally Jesse Raphael.
Jerry?
Not better. No, I mean
Jerry's the king.
Jerry's the king.
Phil Donahue?
I take Ricky over Phil Donahue.
Really? That's what an asshole says.
That's exactly right.
No, because what I was gonna say before was
Richard Bay. You're telling me that Ricky Lake is better than Richard Bay.
All right. Well, I didn't. Bro, it's early, man. I didn't realize I was gonna get hit with these tough questions.
I mean, Ricky
man.
Lake is so forgettable.
No, what?
I mean, she's fine.
She's fine.
She's great.
It's like, oh yeah, I remember her.
And she lasted longer than most of these fools. That not Sally Jesse. Sally Jesse really lasted, but she lasted longer than Richard Bay. I'm willing to say. I just made that up, but it feels true. It feels true.
I would bet that's true.
Ricky Lake was a cultural icon. Okay,
Ricky Lake.
She's in an elite class.
Was on for 11 seasons.
That's huge. 93 to 2004. That's quite a span, okay? Richard Bay, no way he got 11 seasons.
Richard Bay.
Richard Bay is a deep cut. He did not get 11 seasons, okay? He was great. I'm not trying to sit here and besmirch Richard Bay, by the way, for the record. But you dragged me into this. All three of you, honestly.
Not better than Montel Williams.
No.
Ricky Lake, I'd take over Montel.
Are you insane?
Nope.
Are you nuts?
I'm not crazy at all. Actually, I'm quite of my right mind. And I would definitely, as a talk show host, take Ricky Lake over Montel Williams. I would. Yes, I would.
Richard Bay was 92 to 96, but he did he did
covered a lot of ground.
Yeah.
Literally like half, less. He's great.
Troy, how many years were the Beatles around?
Yeah.
You're saying Richard Bay is the Beatles of talk show?
7, 8 years.
Yeah.
Look how much ground they covered.
Exactly.
That's double the amount of time. People talk about how remarkably short the Beatles' run was. It was twice as long as Richard Bay's.
But look at how much they accomplished.
You talking about Richard Bay or the Beatles?
Both. Okay. In that time.
Richard
and
Bay.
you're like, oh, Ricky Lake was on for 11 years, so she must be better.
No. Ricky Lake's better than Richard Bay.
You're more of a quantity over quality guy.
No. I watch a lot. I mean, I will say I watched a lot of Ricky Lake shows.
Better than Maury Povich.
Oh,
I mean, well, now we're getting into my quantity space. And no, Maury Povich, quantity-wise, I don't know who can compete with Maury Povich.
I think she's not even in the top 5. I can't name one, like, oh, remember when Ricky Lake did this?
Ricky was the star. Top 5, okay, just for the argument's sake.
Yeah.
Jerry Springer, Maury Povich, obviously. I'm not putting Oprah in top 5, by the way.
That's fine.
I never watch Oprah. Maybe when she gave away those cars, I watched Oprah. But other than that, I wasn't watching Oprah.
She had that Tom Cruise episode.
Oh, I did watch the Tom Cruise episode. That was a great episode. I guess Dr. Phil is in that top 5, even though it's a different type of thing.
Yeah.
And then I might round out the top 5 with Jenny Jones and Ricky Lake. You can't tell me Ricky Lake is not top 5. That's crazy talk.
Better than Rosie O'Onnell.
Yes, Ricky Lake is better than Rosie O'Donnell. Yes,
Ricky Lake tossed koosh balls out to everybody in the audience.
Rosie O'Donnell's whole talk show was a lie. The devil is a lie. Ricky Lake's Rosie O'Donnell's whole talk show was a lie. She created merchandise around it, lie. She sold koosh balls, lies. She had a stuffed Rosie. You could buy a Rosie O'Donnell doll in the store. Did you know that? And you squeezed it and it talked. The whole thing. Lies. She never had a crush on Tom Cruise. Never. Never.
Better than Wendy Williams.
As a TV talk show.
Yeah.
First of all, it's a totally different era, so it's a little unfair.
Okay.
And second of all,
I'll give you that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's tough to compare late, talk shows from the last 15 years to talk shows from the 90s.
I mean, I'm putting Donahue ahead of Ricky Lake, no question.
Yeah, of course.
Well, when did Donahue expire?
You mean die?
His show. When did Donahue's show end?
Let's see. I mean, he was on forever.
Yeah, but I think by the time the 90s hit, like Donahue feels like an 80s baby to me.
29 years.
Oh, you see, he was definitely on in the 90s.
Till 96.
Oh, we don't like quantity. He ended at, okay, here's my problem with Phil Donahue, okay? And I think this argument has merit. Just as talk shows started getting amazing, not good.
Right.
Amazing. Donahue couldn't hang anymore.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
Okay, and
yeah.
Ricky Lake hung. Right. And Jerry Springer made it very difficult
Springer's
to hang in that
Springer's
space.
the GOAT.
He's the pace car. He's literally not even in the conversation. Like, if you sit there and go, there's somebody who's not the greatest talker, Jerry Springer's not the greatest talk show host of all time, you're not invited into the conversation. I'm looking at Jerry more of as a pace car in the sense that, like, he's leading the pack. It's not even a conversation. Like, to rank him is unfair to everybody else. Like, it makes it not fun anymore.
Yeah.
But
all right. So it's Springer,
easy.
Povich.
Probably.
In the top 5, you're saying probably?
Yeah. I mean, look, he did a lot of paternity shows.
Yeah,
but they were all good. They were all great. I mean, I've never seen a bad Maury Povich paternity show.
And I've never turned on Maury Povich and been like, oh, I've seen this one.
No, I've never done that either myself. And every single time that show was on, I'd be like, let me take a look at what's going on with Maury today. And there have been times where I'd be sitting home at school and I go, I hope Maury's on. So, yeah, Maury belongs in top 5. But
Jenny Jones.
Yeah, because she did a murder.
She did do a murder.
So
all right, that's 3.
Anybody who does a murder on her talk show, like, you know. But, like, other than that, what am I going to put? Charles Perez in there? What am I going to Richard Bay? No.
We agreed on Richard Bay. Richard Bay.
Not over Ricky Lake. We did not agree on that. No. And by the way, I do also think that Richard Bay is far more of an East Coast institution than a national institution.
No, he was syndicated.
He was, but people on the East Coast loved him.
Sally Jesse Raphael?
Sally is the 80s host that lasted into the 90s for sure. And I'm sure my parents thought I was very, very strange that I absolutely went through a period of time in my adolescence where I watched Sally Jesse Raphael every single day. And I thought she was great.
That's weird.
I think they thought it was really weird.
It's not weird.
Look at that. Thank you, Troy. I'm going to tell him you said that. I appreciate that. By the way, Ricky Lake is in this list top 5, and they're including the 80s, and they're including Oprah. And Ricky Lake still made their top 5.
I don't remember a goddamn thing Ricky Lake.
Ricky Lake.
Jenny Jones, Jerry Springer, Montel.
So you got to put Montel in there. Come on.
We're now dipping into the top 10. Ricky Lake was like 2 talk shows.
Richard Bay.
There you go. Travis was right.
Yep.
What about what? Did people remember
I'll
the
die
Richard
on
Bay
the Richard
show?
Bay Hill.
Richard Bay's great. I'm not trying to disrespect. I didn't come on here this morning to disrespect Richard Bay.
You give me an afternoon with Richard Bay, win, lose, or draw, whatever that supermarket sweep.
I mean, don't forget the whammies.
Whatever
Pressure
the mall
luck.
shopping show was.
Pressure luck.
Pressure luck still rules. That's
Pressure
back.
luck's incredible.
Yeah.
By the way, you don't even need to bring it back. If you tell me the episodes of Pressure Luck from the 80s are on a channel, I'll flip over. Won't you? Because you don't want the whammies. You want to see if the whammies are going to come.
No, and honestly, the older shows have more integrity because now with all these digital boards, they can just fucking give you a whammy whenever you want.
That's right. I mean, I think
I don't trust that shit at all.
one of the greatest people to ever live was the guy that figured out the rhythm of the whammy board.
And he should have gotten everything he got.
Everything. I mean, they should have, and more.
Yeah.
Like, they should have given him the show.
Yeah, you won. Congratulations.
You beat us.
Yeah.
You're the champ. But yeah, so of course, Ricky Lake.
Rosie, forgive or forget. I don't know what that is.
Now you're getting into like stupid stuff. It ran from 98 to 2000. They ran out of you didn't have to do 12. They ran out of talk shows.
They were like, we need 12 for the scrolling.
yeah.
Give us one more.
We got to get it. Yeah. And then 13 is just a blank.
13's blank.
We have a template. I don't know how to delete numbers. I don't know how to delete them. Paul in New Jersey. What's up, Paul?
Sammy, long game, Roberts, how you doing?
Good, buddy. How are you?
Doing pretty well. I hope you're going to get into that in a little bit. How can you guys have this list, which I guess you're talking syndicated version, without having the grandfather of them all in there, Morton Downey Jr.? He started this all.
No, I think that's a great call. I think he absolutely did start it all. I look at him, I don't know. I feel like because, number one, it's a different era. Morton Downey Jr. is definitely more 80s than 90s, like late 80s.
It was 3 years in the late 80s.
It was 3 years, but what you're right. It was the blueprint for all of this. Like, I don't think Jerry Springer, I don't think any of that happens without Morton Downey Jr. So, I mean, I do think he's the blueprint. I think he deserves a place in the pantheon, but he's more of the
the Godfather.
Yeah, he's the Godfather of it. When you're making a Mount Rushmore, you could put Morton Downey Jr. in that George Washington spot, but I wouldn't put him in the top 5 list of Like the same reason why, like, I got Jerry Springer as the pace car and Morton Downey Jr. as like Babe Ruth. You know what I mean? Who we don't even
the blueprint.
I hear you.
Yeah.
Hey, real quick, real interesting fact about Ricky Lake, which you might find somewhat interesting. If you were 10 years older when you were traipsing around Syracuse, you may have ran into her. She went to Ithaca College for a couple of years.
Oh, I thought you were about to tell me Ricky Lake was a Syracuse girl. I was about to become even more of a fan.
She went to Ithaca for a couple of years, so on a drunken Saturday night, you might have ran into her.
Ithaca's cool. Maybe I did. Maybe I would have. That's fantastic.
No, I went to Ithaca.
Oh, so were you there at the same time?
I never saw her, but we overlapped a couple of years.
Beautiful.
But Ithaca always came up to Syracuse.
Yeah.
Especially on game weekends.
That's right. Thank you, Paul. I like that Paul had Ricky Lake. I had Carmelo Anthony. You know, we all have our college celebrities. Ithaca. JP in New Jersey.
Yo, what's up, man?
What's up,
you
bud?
guys are talking about if there was like a channel where you could just put on and it's got all the old game shows.
Mm-hmm.
It's called Buzzer Channel, like BUZZR or something like that. It's like one of them in between, like 2-1 to like one of them stupid in between channels on like regular antenna TV.
That's all. Bro, I can't wait. I'm never getting rid of like YouTube TV cable. Like, I can't wait until that's all cable is. Like, cable is going to be Buzzer that just plays old game shows. They're going to, like, the shows that people still watch are just going to have their own channels, and that's it. Shark Tank's going to have a channel. Impractical Joker's going to have a channel. Old game shows are going to have a channel. And probably all these old talk shows that we're talking about are going to have their own channel, because Buzzer, we're looking at it right now. You got a whole morning of Match Game. You got Supermarket Sweep midday, which is, by the way, the historic spot for Supermarket Sweep, because the whole idea was after the ladies drop the children off at school, husband goes to work, they're like, oh, I got to go to the supermarket. Wait a minute. Supermarket Sweep's on. I'll go after. Family Feud at lunchtime. A 2-hour block of concentration. Wow, this is a channel, man. This is and then a lot more Match Game.
And Tattletales from the 70s.
Wow, Card Sharks.
And then you got some old Press Your Luck.
I'd be watching. Yeah, I mean,
do you know how often Game Show Network is just on my TV at home because it's just so easy to watch?
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
I love the idea of, because they have Press Your Luck programmed in the 11 to midnight block. I love the idea of Jimmy Fallon having a week guest day and people switching over to watch an episode of Press Your Luck from 1985. What's on Buzzer right now? Obviously, Press Your Luck 85. Turn that on. I want to see which whammy shows up. Brian in South Carolina.
Hey, good morning. How are you?
Good, man. How are you?
Good. You wouldn't have Jerry Springer if you didn't have Geraldo Rivera.
That's a good point.
I mean, that's a great point. Everybody talks about the fights on Jerry Springer. He never got his nose broke. You know, a guest walked right up into the... That's right. That's right. For me, you're right, Brian. For me, I really feel like the list of talk shows in the 80s and the list of talk shows in the 90s should be two distinct lists, because I feel like they were two distinct cultural milestones. And I think that Geraldo, Donahue, Morton Downey Jr., all those belong on the 80s list.
Geraldo was late 80s to late 90s. I think he 87 to 98.
Nobody was watching Geraldo Rivera in 1998.
Yeah,
I refuse to believe it. I refuse to believe it. No. He had his run. When did he start?
87.
He was wrapped by 91. He was cooked. He was done. 91 was it, as far as I'm concerned. I don't remember anybody talking about Geraldo Rivera except in like the classic, you know.
Hey, did you see what he did when he opened up
the vault?
Yeah.
What year was Capone's vault?
That was...
Because don't tell me.
That broke him.
Broke. You know, totally broke. He had to get naked and take a picture in a towel to come back from that.
That was 86.
Oh, so maybe the talk show was his like bounce back.
Yeah.
I bet, you know what I bet it was? I bet Capone's vault, he was like a news guy.
Yes.
Then he was like, maybe if I do a trashy talk show for a while, I could just lean in a little bit to the fact that, you know, that was a bust and then bounce back. But, I think by the early 90s.
Yeah, Richard Bay came along.
Right. Richard Bay just washed Geraldo.
Geraldo walked so Richard Bay could run.
That's right. Rob in New Jersey.
to put this subject to bed, who did The Offspring sing about?
I mean, when they were talking about the world needing wannabes, you can always go where? Where? You can always go on Richard Bay? I don't think so.
It didn't rhyme.
Of course. I don't know why thank you. I mean, Rob, thank you for clarifying. You can always go on Ricky Lake. And nobody was like.
But that was like shitty Offspring.
What are you talking about?
That was Bad Habit.
That was Fly for a White Guy.
No such thing.
Thank you, Rob.
No, Fly for a White Guy is
Have a good day, guys.
bad.
Thank you for bringing some semblance of sanity. I don't know what I walked into this morning.
Can I mention something else?
I mean, Ricky Lake was to talk shows what Kennedy was to VJs, period. Period.
This is going to blow your mind, but you're going to remember this.
Go on.
ICP mentioned Ricky Lake as well.
Come on.
In the Nedden game, they said
That's right.
if you lost a little weight, you'd look like Ricky Lake.
I mean, Ricky Lake was in John Waters movies. Her weight fluctuated. She was on every tabloid. Ricky Lake, why are you guys acting like Ricky Lake won shit? I'm walking in here, and I never thought of all the and I know this show is as unpredictable as they come. But I never thought in a million years I would walk into a room where people of my ilk, who I thought were of my ilk, obviously are not, were going to tell me Ricky Lake won shit. I thought you were going to tell me, oh, you got a like from Ricky Lake? How did you get to be so lit? I thought that was going to be the response from everybody, and instead it's like, Ricky Lake, oh.
But you know what, though, Sam? You proved your point.
Yeah, listen.
That's great.
That's what debates are for.
That's great. You guys are so mature about how you handle this. That's right.
So what you're saying at the end of the day is it's Springer, Ricky Lake.
I mean, I'm still going to put Richard Bay at number 2, but that's just...
You know why you're going to do that?
Why?
You're an asshole.
No,
and
it's
everybody
personal,
knows
it's a
because you're
personal
fucked.
preference.
No.
If we put on a Richard Bay show, we're not even going to be talking anymore. We're just going to be watching television.
This is what Travis's wife deals with. Because Travis goes like this. I mean, you proved your point. You're right, but I'm going to stick with mine. And it's like, okay, great.
Yeah, you proved your point that I will accept Ricky Lake.
I can admit
as a higher figure than
she's upper echelon.
Yeah, and I'm saying, listen, I can't go against John Waters. If she's good enough for John Waters,
that's what I'm saying.
She's good enough for me. Zap.
And that's been your philosophy
forever,
for a very long time. That's why you never went camping in
John
the
Waters goes to hardcore shows in Baltimore. He rules.
Oh, he's the man, dude.
He's the man.
He's not going to do anything dumb.
No. And you know what?
But Travis can admit when somebody else is right. But have you ever heard Travis admit that he was wrong?
I have not.
Well, not admitting that you were right. I'm admitting that she is
this double. You sound
higher
like,
than I would have put.
You know who you sound like?
Who do I sound like?
Governor Gavin Newsom.
No.
That's who he sounds like, right?
A little bit.
Yeah.
I have Ricky Lake on my list.
Yeah.
She's literally on my list.
He sends all his money on hair gel.
Can't see the list. I mean, I was going to put her on the list.
I was going to put her on the list.
Yeah.
No. She's on. Yeah. No. She's on. Can I see the list? No, I don't have the list.
If you would just leave me alone, I could put her on the list.
I don't have the list, but I'm going to go put her on the list. You said she was already on the list. Just talk to the guy over there.
Yeah, he's got the list.
He's the one. He's the list guy.
All right, so you got a like from Ricky Lake. That's awesome.
You're the one who dragged the conversation out. I was trying to talk about the wildfires.
Is that what we were talking about?
I don't know. I don't remember.
Oh, yeah, some medium, right?
Right. So, now that we've established that Ricky Lake, I mean, come on.
I mean, if AOL is reporting on her.
AOL's reporting on her, okay? AOL is not just going to report on anybody. AOL is top of the internet, and they have a reputation. People pop those discs in their computers. They want to get the biggest news. Eddie in North Dakota?
Hey, Ricky Lake was also in the movie Serial Mom. Kathleen Turner.
See, that's another John Waters movie that Ricky Lake.
And Matthew Lillard.
Right. Hey, she co-starred with Matthew Lillard. Are you going to go against Scooby-Doo?
No, I'm not. No.
Stu?
No.
From Scream?
John Waters, Ricky Lake, Matthew Lillard vehicle.
You never seen Serial Mom? It was a Kathleen Turner vehicle, for the record. Serial Mom's incredible.
I've not seen Serial Mom.
Oh, it's a John Waters masterpiece.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to deny that.
Yeah. No, you should. I actually think you'd love it. And you know what? This is one of those instances where it's good that you haven't seen it. You'll get to enjoy it like it's brand new. It's new to you.
I'm going to write it down right now.
And when NBC would run reruns, it's new to you. So Ricky Lake, who I follow on Instagram because she liked when I called her the goat. which is now undeniable.
Proved your point.
Thank you.
How long ago was this?
We started talking about this 2 weeks ago. How long ago was what?
Did you
when I called her the goat?
Yeah.
It was. I mean, it was a little while back. I mean, not.
So I'm not going to be able to find it.
No. I don't think so. I don't even remember what post it was. It was just like I didn't even know. I hadn't even thought about Ricky Lake, and I
She
saw
just
her.
somehow got in your algorithm, and you were like,
It was just a suggested post, and I was like, oh shit, Ricky Lake, and I just wrote "You're the goat" or something like that, because I was just feeling it at the time, and I feel like you should give people their flowers while they can still smell them.
Absolutely. Yep.
Absolutely. So it's the middle clip in the second row.
This one?
Yeah, Ricky posted, holy shit, because I guess Ricky's house burned down in the fires, which is, a terrible shame.
That's a bummer.
Super bummer. And she was on the Tyler Henry Medium show where he tells celebrities the future.
Geez, less than 3 months ago.
Right. And she said he called this one.
When that comes across, there's this good to keep in mind. There might end up being a coincidence where not only do we lose something, and I'm trying to think how to articulate this without it sounding concerning. I think this may have already happened. If there was a loss of material objects from both fire and water, though, that's the kind of weird distinction. It's two separate things. Okay. So we're gonna end up finding that there's a story where there was a house fire or something along those lines, a fire risk. But they're separate from that, and this has got a little bit, might end up being a little bit more pertinent. We had a really bad storm, and our basement flooded and got a bunch of pictures ruined, and we couldn't ever bring them back. There's just something about watching water seepage into a place it shouldn't and damaging things. So keeping both of those each other. That comes across.
I don't even know what he said.
He said there could be some kind of natural disaster where there might be some fire and then definitely water.
Okay.
Which to me, she wrote, she's the GOAT. I'm not going to question Ricky Lake, but she wrote the great Tyler Henry called it. Less than 3 months ago, on October 15th, Ross and I were on Tyler's show, and guys, he saw the fire. The show is on Netflix. I urge you to watch it. I mean, and then I was like, oh shit, maybe I would, because I don't really at all believe in the psychic medium stuff. I feel like it's parlor tricks. I watched that guy, what's his name? Oz the mentalist who talks to all the football teams.
Yeah.
And he's clearly, he's saying, I'm not doing magical tricks and I'm not a medium speaking to another realm. He just reads people really well. And I think that's what the psychic stuff is. I'd love to be proven wrong, but I can't imagine I would be. But some people really want to believe it. I'm watching this and I'm like, well, Tyler Henry is putting all the emphasis on water damage. And if there's one thing California has none of, it's water right now. They're totally barren. This doesn't feel at all. First of all, it feels very isolated to Ricky Lake's house. It doesn't feel like the entire city is going to burn down. And second of all, he said most of the damage would be due to water, which was not the case at all whatsoever.
Lack thereof.
Complete lack thereof. That's why there's damage, because there's no water. Well, except for the smelt.
In the clip, Henry spoke to Lake about a loss of material objects from both fire and water. And water, though, that's the kind of weird distinction. It's two separate things, which is, wow. Talk about just really
he's a medium.
Water and fire
are
two different things.
Well, you know how he found that out? A ghost told him. Yes, a spirit. A spirit from another realm. But he is right about that.
We're going to end up finding out there's a story where there was a house fire or something along those lines, a fire risk.
Where do you live again? Los Angeles? In the desert. Yeah, I see that there could be a fire risk. Oh, man. I'm glad I came on this show. I mean, I guess people and then, of course, because I saw the headlines. That's why I looked into it at all. And people love the idea that oh, this guy called it, that guy called it. Because I was going to be oh, man, if he called it, that's actually really something. But the clip that I saw, it says Ricky Lake's going to have water damage in her house, is what it sounded like he was saying.
Okay.
But so that didn't pass my smell test, at all. Although I did see in the coverage of the wildfires, David Muir was wearing his coat like it was the 90s. He had the baggiest coat that you've ever seen in your life.
Yeah, Jenko coat.
Oh, yeah. He caught wind of what we caught wind of, for lack of a better term, on Thursday when we were talking about David Muir showing up with the, he's such a handsome guy, and he works on that body of his. He showed up to report on the fires with the clothespin, safety pinning or clothespinning his fire jacket so that, he could still remain looking svelte. He could show off the waist. It could kind of show up where the chest broadens a little bit, maybe show off the shoulders a little bit. Just let people know he's not built like your average dude.
I'm special.
And it was Jack Osborne, of all people, who was the first to go, hey, did you notice there's a clothespin that's behind his back fitting? He's got a fitted fire jacket on, and we had fun with it. Everybody kind of went to town on him. So like a day later, he showed up on ABC News, and that's a roomy jacket now, and he's got it undone. It's much more sort of like, yeah, man, I just threw this thing on. I don't know. I know we got to report the news. I know we're on television, but man, I just threw this thing on, and we're just here trying to cover this. That's
it.
all.
Always looks like this.
This is just a fire jacket. I'm fighting fires. I'm reporting the news. I got my ABC logo on. But yeah, I did find it.
Yep.
I did find it funny that he made the call, and it's the right call. He's in a tough position because if he shows back up on the air with the clothespin jacket, then he's just going to keep getting roasted. If he shows up with the looser jacket, then it's almost like he's acknowledging he made a mistake. But I think in this instance, you have to acknowledge you made the mistake. Course correct.
He didn't acknowledge it, though.
Well, acknowledge through action.
He could have been like, look, I know I came off like a real asshole.
No, he was like
vain.
He said this. I don't know what you're talking about.
That's weird. That's news to me.
And he's still handsome, so it doesn't matter.
Look at that face.
Yeah, look at that jawline.
Incredible jawline. This is a guy who never needs to grow a beard.
His Instagram's incredible. All he does is give brooding looks at the camera.
He does.
It's
on
the
Instagram.
The entire grid.
Oh, I want to see. Let's see David Muir's grid.
All right, hang on.
I guess...
I don't like him, but whatever.
Well, can you blame him? Wouldn't you give...
It's just him in the same T-shirt in different poses meant to emphasize his arms.
He's probably
giving brooding looks.
Look. I love
the brood.
First of all, okay, these are expensive T-shirts, I would imagine.
Wow. All right, come on.
Look at the arms on this guy. Look at no wonder he wants to wear... Do you have anything tighter? No wonder he wants to wear this stuff. He's probably so frustrated that he has to wear that suit to work. He can't show... Look at the arms on this guy. And the pectorals? This guy works hard. No wonder.
But you know what? He knows it, and he
Well, he wants to be. He works hard at it. He wants to show off the goods.
I like a guy like Anderson Cooper who's just naturally handsome.
I bet you do. You fell in love with Anderson Cooper on New Year's Eve.
I've always loved Anderson Cooper. He rules from Channel 1. Come on.
No, I know. I'm not here
to told me Kurt Cobain died.
I'm not. Rest in peace, by the way. I'm not here to disrespect Anderson Cooper. I'm just saying,
like you go on a date with David Muir and he just wants to talk about himself.
Well, wouldn't you?
Anderson Cooper's like, hey, did you hear about this in the world? Or you know what I think is really important?
No, I think he's waiting for you to make a joke so he can giggle. Make funny faces when he takes shots and stuff like that.
David Muir's just concerned about his arms.
Well, he's got great arms. I'd be concerned about him too. I hope everybody sees him.
Look at this asshole.
He's squeezing that button.
Yeah, he is.
He wants that suit tight. Can we make it tighter? Yeah, but that's how
if we looked like that, we'd be doing the same thing.
100%.
Probably.
100%. And I like that. I like when we say stuff like that. If we look like that, we would do it too, as if we couldn't just dedicate ourselves to diet and exercise. You know why we don't look like that? Because food is so good.
Yeah. And that guy, he's got a full, beautiful, luscious head of hair.
People don't really care about that.
So you.
People don't really.
It doesn't look like that.
It could.
It could. Your hair, Troy, you got one of the all-time hairlines. Look at you. It's not like you haven't lost one follicle in your entire life. You never looked down at the drain and went, whoop.
Hair comes out, but,
You mean at the barber? That's it.
But
it's probably coming out of that ridiculous beard.
Yeah, I do lose some. They look like big, long pubes. But I mean, that guy. I mean, I don't have a jawline like that.
No, you don't.
That guy doesn't have any man tits. I got man tits.
The amount of cool sculpt you would have to go through to even begin the conversation.
I mean, he probably just eats kale,
and
protein shakes,
and a lot of plasma transfusions.
Yes.
He's got access, you know. Yeah, but so now he's wearing baggy fire coats though, because he wants to be respectful, which I think is just an absolutely wonderful thing. That's great. I was talking about the fires a little bit. Did you see Mel Gibson was on Joe Rogan's podcast? Joe Rogan had a weekend, man. I was just like sitting there, and I love when they just pop up on YouTube. I'm just going through whatever, and all of a sudden this little thumbnail comes up, and it's Mel Gibson sitting in Joe Rogan's studio, and I'm like, what the fuck? And yeah, Joe Rogan had Mel Gibson on. And I mean,
his house was literally burning down as he was doing.
And he said it.
Yeah.
He said it. He's like, I don't think my house will be there when I get back, but it is what it is. He has this, Mel Gibson, I found, as I was watching him talk to Joe, he has this really interesting quality where he talks about everything with such an intense level, but nothing really seems to get him like emotional one way or the other. You know what I mean? Yeah, this is happening. Yeah, that's happening. Except he's got this like real, like at any moment, he could absolutely snap and rip your head off. He's got this like bassy tone where you're just like, I mean, he's constantly operating at a 9.5, but then it also feels like nothing is going to push him to 10. Like he's unaffected by anything except he stays at 9.5. This was Mel talking to Joe Rogan about Gavin Newsom and the fires.
More dangerous now.
I think they are.
Yeah, I think so for sure.
Yep.
Yeah, we were just talking about the wildfire situation and how crazy it is that they spent $24 billion last year on the
I hate
homeless.
to interrupt this quickly, but can you hear? This is the beginning. This is the beginning of the thing. Can you hear the intensity of just his breathing? That's his resting heart rate. That's just where he's at. That's just where Mel Gibson exists.
Always ready.
He's just. I mean, he was talking about when he was in high school. Did you watch the thing?
I just saw some clips.
Oh, he was talking about when he was in high school. He's like 17 years old in high school, and he was thinking about writing movies about the Vikings, but in like old like Nordic language. And he's 17 or whatever. He's an intense human being.
Very intense.
Just make Lethal Weapon.
And he looked great in Lethal Weapon.
Yeah. $24 billion last year on the homeless.
Yeah.
And what do they spend on preventing these wildfires?
Zero.
Zip.
And in 2019, I think Newsom said, I'm going to take care of the forests and maintain the forests and do all that kind of stuff. He didn't do anything.
Didn't do anything. And then on top of that, they cut the water off.
The way he said, no. Like, he's also, and maybe it's because of...
well, we know who he really is.
Well, he's been so exposed. You know what I mean? Like, those tapes exposed to the world, this is where he stands.
He's so intimately exposed.
Completely exposed. Everybody knows everything. Ricky Gervais then puts, like, fire on the fire to make, like, Ricky Gervais was lighting lanterns while the Mel Gibson fire was burning through Hollywood. And everybody knows you can't, like, that's the one thing. It's Lethal Weapon and it's those tapes. And so he's, like, completely, at this point in his life, unapologetic. He believes exactly what he believes. He goes, he didn't do anything to stop that. He didn't? No, absolutely not. Like, there's no part of Mel where I'd go, I'll bet if I talked to him and sat down and had a conversation, we could probably meet in the middle somewhere. Like, that doesn't exist.
There's no middle for...
No. And as a matter of fact, I'm looking at him going, not only would we not meet in the middle, but no matter what we were talking about, no matter how solidly I stood on my principles, I'm pretty sure Mel Gibson could break me.
Yeah, it's all funny. And then I think all our tax dollars probably went for Gavin's hair gel. I don't know, but it's like, it's sad. It's like the place is just on fire.
Well, the whole state is
I like
just
that.
so...
He got his joke in. He got his Mel Gibson. He got his Gavin Newsom hair gel in. And then he's like, but it's sad, you know.
But also very sad.
It's very sad. It's very sad.
The whole state is just so poorly managed. It's so frustrating and confusing. And then he gets on TV and pretends like everything's great.
Mm-hmm.
And California's the best. We have the best state. We have the most amazing economy. And like, you're out of your fucking mind, dude. You've ruined this state. Like, personally ruined it.
Well, it's the same team that was up in San Francisco, and
Mhm.
they came down to L.A., and they're doing what they did in San Francisco. And
Yeah.
San Francisco's kind of like apocalyptic now, you know.
Yeah.
I went there, and it's just like people, homeless. It's a mess.
It's just
It's
unbelievable
such a soothing
that society
voice,
can
too.
crumble
He says-
that quickly.
It really is.
He says crazy shit. In
man,
such a
so calm.
It's so calming and soothing. That voice. There's something like ASMR. About it. It's the opposite of my voice.
Are we allowed to like Mel Gibson? Because I kind of want to, but he said some horrific things.
He has said horrific things.
Do we forgive him?
I mean, I probably can't.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
All right.
But also, I mean,
He did The Patriot.
he did do The Patriot.
Pretty badass movie.
Didn't he do that Santa Claus movie?
Fat Santa was awesome. Like, I'll tell you, do I forgive?
Can you separate the art from the artist?
I mean, I'm not watching Fat Santa or whatever that Fat Man. Fat Man is what it's called. I watch Fat Man at Christmas time. I think it's an awesome movie.
You did Braveheart.
Did Apocalypto.
He did The Passion of the Christ.
I mean, that's a great
And didn't
movie.
he say that the Passion of the Christ 2 is going to be in hell?
Well, he said it's the resurrection story.
Oh, okay.
Which I found out he believes, like, and I'm not criticizing. He believes the whole resurrection. He's like, yep, I think that happened. And at one point, and this goes back to the idea that, like, Mel just believes what he believes. He knows what he believes, and that's it. Joe asked him about, like, evolution. You believe in evolution? And he goes, no, that doesn't really fly with me. No. Nope.
All right, so he took the opposite approach of Trump, where Trump's like, I love all the books equally.
Nah, he's like, nope, this is the one. This is my book. I like this book.
Yeah, see, he says it will journey to hell.
It's an acid trip, he says. Yeah. Well, I guess maybe on his way to resurrection.
I'm hoping to start filming next year sometime. There's a lot required because the script is an acid trip. I've never read anything like it. There's some crazy stuff. In order to tell the story properly, you have to start with the fall of the angels. You're in another realm. You need to go to hell. You need to go to
Sheol?
Sheol?
Look, however he said it, I believe it.
I'm ready for it. Let's do it.
You are?
For the Passion of the Christ too? Yeah.
I mean, I'll check it out.
He said, Rogan asked, you're going to have Satan? And he said, you have to have his origin. So you're going to get Satan's origin story.
Satan's origin?
That's what it sounds like.
That's sick.
I have ideas about how to do that.
Prequel?
Yeah.
Prequel to hell.
Prequel to hell.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, I'll watch that. I want to see what's going on with all that. And he said...
I mean, he was in What Women Want.
Remember when
he could read their minds. He knew what they were thinking.
He was a charming heartthrob.
He was on the road to being like a rom-com guy.
He was George Clooney. He was the OG George Clooney. This is not... I don't mean tequila George Clooney. I mean, like, ER George Clooney.
He was like a more manly, rugged Hugh Grant.
I forgot. His whole thing was being charming. I forgot about What Women Want.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah, don't you think it's time to forgive him? He's been on.
I don't think. That's not.
He's not asking for forgiveness. He's like, yeah, I said what I said.
He's like, no, yeah. I'm with that. I'm like, oh, well.
Yeah, I'm about it.
yeah. I don't know is the answer, Troy. To be fair.
Yeah. I don't think he ever was like, I was wrong.
And I'm not sure how you read this conversation as going in that direction.
Well, just because like I heard the clips and I heard what he was saying, I was like, oh, I forgot. I think Mel Gibson's kind of cool. And then it's like, oh, he said all these horrific things.
Right.
Here's what happened with Troy. Mel said some political things that Troy was like, I can get behind that. And then he's jumped to like, can we forgive him for the Jewish stuff? He's in Mad Max.
Guys, come on.
Well, Troy's in a very like sort of yes or no space right now.
Right.
You know.
In what way?
That like you're like, well, if I'm thinking to myself, I like the movie Lethal Weapon 3, then I've got to forgive. And that's not the case. Like you can.
So what you're saying is like it's still like bump and grind.
Yeah.
Wow. The problem is like
I say yes.
Bump and Grind is literally a song about what R. Kelly was doing.
Oh.
So if, like, Mel Gibson made a movie about what he was saying in the tapes, then I'd be like, that's probably a little too close to home. You know, he's not real. Like, I don't know if I can get behind that. I'm saying you can still listen to I Believe I Can Fly.
Okay.
I Believe I Can Fly is a complete departure. I think the children are still singing it in elementary school graduation.
He was in Science.
He was in Science. He was an
Science
M.
is a good
Night
movie.
guy. What Women Want. That's probably the wildest one. For sure. And I mean, like, because Helen Hunt and Mel Gibson, look how charming he is. Let's get a little audio on this trailer.
Well, they probably figured if she can do it with Jack Nicholson, she can do it with Mel Gibson.
Nick Marshall thought he was God's gift to women.
Cappuccino extra foam. Taller grande.
Marissa Tomei.
At least I like to think so.
Next.
But he's about to discover what women think.
It's a wacky electrocution scene.
They don't make movies like this anymore.
No.
You're welcome, my little sweet buns.
What did you say?
Me? Nothing.
Whoa. Hear what women think.
Whoa, lighten up in that aftershave, buddy.
I'm talking personal, private stuff. The stuff that nobody on earth is supposed to hear. I hear that stuff. Strike me crazy.
You just do accents. Like, you know what's funny? A different language.
That was awesome.
Yeah. Hey.
We need more of that in movies today.
Can you imagine anything funnier than a foreign language? We don't know what they're saying. They don't sound like us at all. How funny is that? Can you imagine?
No, that's what it would sound like in there.
That's right.
That's right. They didn't say he got electrocuted and now he understands every language.
No. That's a different language you're hearing. Can you believe how...
So those are the words coming out of her mouth.
That's so funny. We need to put it in the trailer. We need to make sure the world knows. If you come to this movie, there'll be foreign language humor.
This is the type of jokes we're telling in What Women Want.
And by the way, this is not for edgy dudes. It's for the soccer moms.
I mean, that was just early 2000s humor.
Yeah.
And that's PG-13, so I could take my daughter.
I love that everybody's like, can you believe Mel Gibson was doing that? If it's like, but look what we were doing. Look what we were all doing.
Yeah.
That stuff. Strike me crazy. Even French poodles, I can hear them.
Monsieur, I need to poo-poo. I don't know how this happened to you or why.
Who's that, Bette Midler?
Yeah, and the fact that the French poodle is speaking English.
Well, but the foreign person is not.
It's just speaking foreign gibberish.
Yeah. Well, see, dogs live in America, so they speak English even if they have an accent. Not placeable foreigners. They speak gibberish. It's the 90s.
No wonder 9/11 happened a year later.
I mean, that probably is mainly because of What Women Want. Like, this is just acceptable, very mainstream. You know what this was vanilla humor.
Yeah.
This was like,
this is a PG-13 rom-com.
Yes. This is
They're like, hey, make sure you fuck with the foreigners.
This is the movies that your parents thought was funny. Like, suburban parents were like, well, I guess that movie's for me.
Yeah. Hey, you know the mandate from up top.
Yeah, make sure the foreigner speaks gibberish.
And the dog English.
Yeah, well, the dog, of course the dog would speak English, even though it's a French poodle.
Be the luckiest man on earth.
Hello, I'm Darcy.
Think of the possibilities.
Great photographs.
No clue they're all Margaret Burke White.
They're not all Margaret Burke White, are they?
Yeah.
Oh, this guy. He's using tricks.
Paramount Pictures and Icon Productions
I've seen
present.
someone else do that.
I won't. I'm going to be the one guy on earth who knows what women want, how they think, and why they do those cuckoo things they do. The story of a man's man who's listening to what women want.
Don't fall for a guy at work. Don't fall for a guy at work.
Why?
Why what?
And getting in touch.
He's shaving his legs.
With his feminine side.
Dad!
Hi.
What are you doing?
Exfoliating?
And this is... Hey! Good tunes, too.
You go, girl.
That is true. They would do that, too. They would make all the action stars do a movie where they wore women's clothing.
God, I just looked at his crotch.
Foreign humor and Meredith Brooks.
Yeah.
I just looked at it
And
again.
Helen Hunt.
Yeah. Prime Helen Hunt. I might have to watch. I might have to take a look at What Women Want.
You know what? That looks pretty good. I might watch that too.
Looks like quite a flick.
It's got the humor you enjoy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you're just waiting for the one scene. Yeah, I mean, there probably was a sense of freedom from Mel Gibson when they saw like his completely dark side, that he was like, okay, I'm not going to get cast in What Women Want anymore. I guess I should just lean into, the stuff that motivates me. Did you hear him talk about his friends cured cancer?
Yeah.
I mean, that was, and the way he said it, I was like, all right, I believe him. Everything he was, all right, if you say so. Listen to the way he says it. He's a very convincing person.
Where's the volume?
Come on.
Oh, it's not on.
I want to hear it. I want to hear
You
it.
got me doing so many things. I'm good.
Good.
Here we go.
I'll tell you a good story.
Okay.
I have 3 friends.
By the
All
way,
3 of them.
cut it off right there. Cut it off right there. That's it. Yeah. 3. I used to have only 2 friends, but I made another friend. Now, Joe, I have 3 friends. Who's going to tell Mel that's a bad story?
Yeah, that's not a good story, man.
No one.
You should have way more than 3 friends.
No one, but you would never say that to his face. Look at the size of his fingers.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't like that story? What are you, not a man? No, you're right. That was a good story. That was a good story, Mel. Isn't he Australian?
No, I think Mad Max is Australian.
I think Mel's Australian. At some point, he lost the accent.
No, he's American.
Is he? Where's he born?
Peekskill.
Nice. New York?
Yeah.
Nice.
He does have citizenship in Ireland as well, though. So you were thinking of the Australian film Mad Max.
Ah, the Thunderdome.
Yes.
I'll tell you a good story.
Okay.
I have 3 friends.
That's a great story, dude.
Nice.
All 3 of them had stage 4 cancer. All 3 of them don't have cancer right now at all. And they had some serious stuff going on.
And what did they take?
Jesus. They took...
Joe, you got the questions today, huh, Joe? Oh, Joe, my man Joey R with the questions, huh? This guy. What did they take? Let me tell you a story. It's a good story. I have 3 friends. They all had stage 4 cancer. Now, none of them have cancer. Not one.
How?
This guy over here. It's a good question. I'm still shaping what this show should be. I think I might get a dialect coach to teach me how to talk like Mel Gibson.
It's intense.
Because I feel like anything I talk about, wait, I'll tell you something. I got to tell you something great. It was wild card weekend. NFL. Wild card weekend. And they painted a real picture
16
of what the playoffs look like going into next weekend. Oh, really? Who's going into next weekend?
They took some... What you've heard they've taken.
Ivermectin.
Fenbendazole.
Fenbendazole. Yeah.
That's
I'm hearing that a lot.
They drank hydrochloride something or other.
There's studies on that now where people have proven that
People
they've
are drinking methylene blue and stuff like that.
Yeah, methylene blue, which was a fabric dye.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a textile dye. And now they find out it has profound effects on your mitochondria.
Yep.
Yeah.
This stuff works, man.
There's a lot of stuff that does work, which is very strange because, again, it's profit. When you hear about things that are demonized and that turn out to be effective, you always wonder, well, what is going on here? How is our medical institutions, how have they failed us so that things that do cure you are not promoted because they're not profitable?
Joe is, he's such a professional. Having a real conversation.
Yeah.
I'd be sitting there like just trying to get Mel Gibson to say stuff. Like, I'd just be figuring out, like, random questions. Just get him to say stuff. Just get him to react to things.
Man, he's intense.
Yeah. I would want to try to maintain that level of intensity for as long as humanly possible. And just, like, there's no way that I would be able to control myself into having a real conversation.
Try to get him to reenact that phone call, those phone calls.
I know, dude.
Pain in the ass.
Yeah. Oh, this was, I mean, and then he starts talking about the resurrection, you know, because he was talking about Passion of the Christ too. And I mean, I almost feel like for Joe, anybody else, because Joe's kind of a skeptic, you know what I mean? He doesn't just take things at face value. Well, I mean, when Mel tells you, he's like, no, the resurrection, that happened verbatim. It's almost like, all right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Guess it did.
Sounds good to me.
So this story that you want to tell about good and evil, like, do you have a script or is it just a thing in your head? Like, what is it?
Yeah, it's the resurrection story, but it's not linear, because you can't really. It's hard to understand, so it's got to be put in a framework where you answer a few other questions as well. And you have to juxtapose the event itself against everything else so that it makes some kind of sense in a bigger picture, which is a hard thing to do. And it took my brother and I and a guy called Randall Wallace, plus my brother and I, took us 6-7 years to write it.
So are you doing this with historians as well? Are you trying to make it?
Yeah, historical stuff. Well, I regard the Gospels as history. It's verifiable history. Some people say, oh, it's a fairy tale. He never existed, but he did. And
see, that's the vibe. That's his vibe. That's his vibe that I can't get enough of. It's like, I'm not interested in having the conversation. You know, people say it's a fairy tale. It's not. It's not. So anyway, you know, people say, you know, it's not verifiable. He didn't really exist. He did.
But he did.
He did. And it's like, okay. Like he doesn't present it in a way where he's looking to hear arguments or the arguments would be an appropriate thing to have. He's just like, no, it's real. It's a historical text. And you're like, okay, Mel, all right.
Other accounts, verifiable historical accounts outside the biblical ones that also bear this up, that yes, he did exist. And the other aspect of that is that all the evangelists, the apostles who went out there, every single one of those guys died rather than deny their belief. And nobody dies for a lie. Nobody.
Right.
So that's part of what I'm doing. It's like showing nobody dies for a lie.
Yeah. Well, the resurrection is the one that is the most
I like
difficult.
that Joe's like, I mean, logically, that doesn't mean they could have been wrong. I mean, they might not have thought it was a lie.
Yeah, say like you believe it.
Like they're dead.
I think a better way to say it is nobody dies for something they don't believe in.
It's a better way to say it, but it doesn't prove your case. You know, if your case is, well, I think it's true because
well, I
they're
think that's
dead.
what he's saying. Yeah, but he's saying they died, so it can't possibly be a lie.
But the way he says it, I'm like, honestly, like the way you just said your thing.
I sound like an idiot.
Well, it's kind of wienery.
Right.
Like, I don't know. I mean, technically, they could just believe it. I'm like, nah, I'm going with Mel. Who are you going with?
Mel. All day.
I would go with Mel.
Right. You've got your logical response.
But I'm wienery.
Right. And you're like, you hear it coming out of your own mouth. And you're like, I'm not listening to that wiener.
No.
I get it.
Why would I listen to that wiener?
I mean, bro, what do you think I think when I hear the replay of the show? About myself.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I think it was Ben Travis.
You liked it better when it was? Okay, all right.
You see Mel's eyes just darting around while he talks?
All over the room. All over the room. He's got those giant sausage fingers. Yeah. Everything on him is just like he will fuck you up.
I think he was on coke, but he doesn't do drugs.
Yeah.
I think that's just his...
Yeah. Or
his level.
Maybe he drinks a lot of coffee or something. I don't know.
He at the beginning of the thing, he goes, Joe says, hey, man, you want some coffee? And he goes, water. I want water.
Yeah, I think he's just naturally like that.
Yeah.
He's probably had like 18 heart attacks.
Yeah.
But he beat him.
Oh, yeah. Ivermectin. Fabric dye.
Yeah, he's drinking that fabric dye. He's good to go. Yeah, listen to what he says about the resurrection.
Go for people to swallow.
Yes.
That is the one that requires the most faith.
The most faith and the most belief, yeah, resurrection.
Yeah.
who gets back up 3 days later after he gets murdered in public, who gets back up under his own power. Buddha didn't do that shit.
Right.
So
It's true.
You believe that was a real event?
yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's right.
Buddha didn't do that.
Buddha didn't do that shit. I mean, it's got to already be on bumper stickers, right?
Buddha didn't do that.
Buddha didn't do that shit.
Right next to the Keep Christ in Christmas.
I mean, this is what it would say. And I feel like I could make a mint if I just made stickers and T-shirts that said, "He has risen," and then right under it, "Buddha didn't do that shit."
I mean, I'd wear it.
You would wear it.
I'd put it on right now.
You would.
Yeah, here you go. I'd put it on right now.
You go, this shirt rules. And factually speaking, did he do that shit? Buddha?
He did not.
Christ did.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I mean, Mel has a way of just stripping it right down to the bare bones point. Like, this is what we're believing, and here's why. And you're like, okay, Mel.
I like it. I'm happy that he's doing a media tour.
He is doing a media tour.
I think Troy's already forgiven him.
You know what? Yeah. We're
don't have
told,
to-
forgive and forget.
I guess that's...
You're not going to forget. But
Look, if he does it again, it'd be like, dude, we told you.
I mean, he probably does it every day.
You know what, dude? He was under the influence of drugs and alcohol. You know, it is possible for people to change.
It is. You're right about that.
Did he say he's changed?
No.
Well, you can tell somebody by their actions.
Yep.
What are the actions?
Yeah.
Stop saying anti-Semitic shit.
That's true, because Kanye didn't stop. That's how you knew he hadn't changed. He just kept doing it.
He tried
more
to stop
and more.
himself.
And then he couldn't.
No.
He said he wasn't, and then he did it.
So I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt.
Okay. Well, I really hope he's not anti-Semitic anymore.
Me too. And he loves Jesus. Jesus was Jewish, so...
You're Jewish? So is JC. You're in good company.
So I'm hoping that he sees that and sees the error of his ways.
I would hope so.
Why was he on Rogan? Was he promoting something?
I don't know that he was...
Or he's just like a real dude, and Rogan was like, yeah, I'll talk to Mel Gibson.
He must have been promoting something. Or maybe he's getting ready to launch something. Maybe he's trying to get funding for the sequel to The Passion of the Christ. I don't know for sure. I didn't watch the whole... I mean, it was... These podcasts are long. I was in for a good...
So much.
I usually go, like, if I'm really into it, I can get in 30 to 40 minutes, and then I start drifting towards the clips.
Yeah.
Clips are the way to go. Because you just the cream of the crop. You see it.
I like it when they time code in the comments. If I can find a good time code in the comments, then we're off to the races. But
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. All right, let's take a break. Okay, we have too much to do this morning. Too much to talk about. I watched that Natalia Grace season 3 all weekend long. Exhausted by it. Absolutely exhausted. I know more about those mans than I ever wanted to know. And I don't know why they couldn't discover some of this stuff in season 2. Like, none of it. But whatever, we'll talk about it. And of course, Wild Card Weekend, I was all into it. What an NFL weekend, huh, Mike?
It was super wild.
It was extremely wild. We'll get to all that and more. Stay right there.
We will be right back with Sam Roberts Show.
Hey everybody, it's Conan O'Brien, and guess what? I've got my own channel, Conan O'Brien Radio, here on SiriusXM. Tune in to channel 104 for exclusive interviews with your favorite celebrities, hilarious moments from all my TV shows, showcasing some of the most absurd and hilarious moments from my decades on television, and episodes from Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend podcast and Andy Richter's weekly call-in show. Don't miss out. Conan O'Brien Radio, channel 104, or anytime on the SiriusXM app.
The NFL's Wild Card Weekend concludes tonight.
Touchdown, LA!
At 8 Eastern, the Rams host the Vikings.
Touchdown! Justin Jefferson!
Listen on the SiriusXM app or on your radio. Hear the LA broadcast on Sirius 81 XM 225 and the Minnesota announcers on Sirius 83 XM 226. Countdown to kickoff with the experts of NFL radio as they break down the game on Channel 88.
Go.
It's official, sports fans. First Things First is a hit.
First Things First is a good mix of analysis and total ridiculousness.
That is unbelievable.
I'm all ears. Nick, Drew, and Wilds are the MVPs of sports shows.
I'm Mahomes, you're Kelsey, and you're Andy Reid.
I kind of want to be Mahomes, or at least Kelsey.
Yeah, I think I'm more Mahomes.
First Things First, weekdays at 3 Eastern on FS1.
This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. We get to the new year, we're thinking about what we want to change, what we want to do better. Every January brings 365 blank pages on a calendar, all waiting to be filled in 2025. Maybe you're ready for a plot twist. Think of therapy as your editorial partner, helping you write new chapters and create the meaningful story you deserve to live. Therapy can help you get through these ideas that are in your head. All these ideas that are in your head are sometimes tied up in knots. In therapy, everything gets smoothed out. Everything becomes clear. BetterHelp is fully online, making therapy affordable and convenient, serving over 5 million people worldwide. Access a diverse network of more than 30,000 credentialed therapists with a wide range of specialties. Easily switch therapists anytime at no extra cost. Write your story with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/Teft to get 10% off your first month. BetterHelp.com/TEFT.
Honey, I had the worst dream last night. You were in a car crash, and the kids and I were on our own. We had to move out of the house because I couldn't afford it anymore.
That's awful, hon.
You know, my brother was saying he got life insurance from Ethos.
I know it's been on our list, but isn't getting life insurance a huge pain? Oh, it's so much paperwork, and you have to go see the doctor. I wouldn't even know where to start.
With Ethos, Dave said it only took 10 minutes, and he got $2 million in coverage for around $2 a day. Plus, it's all online. No medical exam. He just answered a few health questions right from his house. He was able to choose an amount that worked for his needs, and Ethos made the whole thing so easy and clear.
10 minutes with no medical exam? Ethos, here we come.
Here's to sleeping better at night.
Help protect your loved ones today with Ethos. Life insurance made easy. Visit applyethos.com to apply today. That's applyethos.com.
Sample rate is a 10-year term life policy for 35-year-old healthy, non-smoking male. Billed monthly.
You work as hard as your truck, and you have no time for downtime. That's why more truck owners trust Blue Def, America's #1 diesel exhaust fluid brand. Each batch is guaranteed pure, so you can avoid costly repairs caused by inferior DEF. Demand America's best for your truck with Blue Def and Blue Def Platinum. Put trust in your truck. Learn more at BlueDef.com.
Hey, Kelly. I love your Kelly Clarkson Connection channel.
All right. Thank you so much for listening.
The mix is eclectic.
I love music, and I just want to celebrate all of it with you.
It's my favorite now.
Is it worth it? Let me work it.
It is perfect.
This is my heartbeat. The Kelly Clarkson Connection, y'all.
I freaking love your channel.
Oh my God.
Channel 12 and on the SiriusXM app.
Life insurance. What's your excuse for putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think your work coverage is enough? There's a lot of excuses for putting off life insurance, but one big reason why you shouldn't. If the unexpected were to happen to you, who would pay the mortgage, the kids' tuition, and all the other bills? In a time of grief, the last thing you would want is for your family to have to sell the house and struggle to survive financially. At Ethos, we could get you covered in just 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Rates can increase the longer you wait, so no more excuses. Take 10 minutes today and discover the modern way to get the life insurance coverage you need. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at startethos.com. That's startethos.com.
Philo's got a world of entertainment for you to explore with just one subscription. Sign up today and start watching all the networks you love, like A&E, MTV, Discovery, Lifetime, Hallmark Channel, and so much more. Featuring current seasons of all the best drama, true crime, reality, and family-friendly shows you can't afford to miss. Get started today and unlock our library of over 75,000 movies and shows. And save all your favorites with the unlimited DVR so you can rewatch them anytime, anywhere, for up to a year. Philo now includes access to AMC+. You can discover your next obsession from its collection of hit originals like Mad Men, The Walking Dead, Killing Eve, Orphan Black, and tons of blockbuster movies. There are no contracts, no commitments, and no hassles. For just $28 a month, Philo's a better way to watch TV. So what are you waiting for? Visit Philo.tv and sign up today to start your 7-day free trial. That's PHILO.tv.
Hi, I'm Steven Singer, the I Hate Steven Singer guy. You know what I hate? Phony sales, cashback, coupons, rebates, bonus points, frequent flyer miles, membership rewards. Why is it so hard? So complicated to save money. If they really wanted to save me money, then just charge me less. Why do they make me jump through hoops? How about just treating me like a real person? At Steven Singer Jewelers, we don't play these pricing games. We have one store, one place, one price. Whether you shop with us online, by phone, catalog, or in our showroom, you'll know you're getting the best price every time.
We themselves, yes?
Thrilled.
Yes.
Great game.
Now, were you... Yes. A lot of the games were good. So a couple of them were kind of blowouts,
Most
but...
of them were bad.
I guess that's true. I was just so swept up in the game last night that...
Last night's game was really good.
Yes. A lot of the games, by the time the first quarter was over, it was like, oh.
I mean, when Denver scored first in the first game yesterday against Buffalo, I was like, oh, they're going to make it a game.
Yes.
Then Buffalo scored 31 straight points.
They were just like, nope.
It's like, oh, okay.
No, you're absolutely not.
Yes, it's not a game.
Yeah. Did you think that... Were you confident in the Ravens?
No. No. Even though they're clearly the better team, the Steelers always give them trouble. It's a great rivalry. It's a great divisional rivalry. The Steelers, I think, have won like 8 out of the last 10 games against them. Like, even if the Steelers aren't good, they always play the Ravens really well.
I see. And they've played... Did they win against them this season?
They split the series.
Oh, so it was 1-1.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, no, I'm never confident when they play the Steelers, but I love those games because they're so good. They mean so much. This was the first time the Ravens had hosted them in the playoffs, so it was awesome.
The Steelers and the Ravens is the John Dupee Bowl.
The John Dupee Bowl?
John Dupee is one of the great predators in To Catch a Predator history.
Oh.
He showed up at the house in Connecticut, and when Chris was asking him what he was doing there, he explained that he was there to watch football. Chris asked who was playing. He said the Steelers and the Ravens.
That's how big the game is.
Yeah.
The John...
And you call it the John Dupee Bowl.
Yeah, oh yeah, I own that, by the way.
You do?
Yeah.
That's yours. So if you see
mine.
it anywhere,
Yeah.
don't think in the TCAP community.
The TCAP community.
That's right, TCAP.
Yeah.
TCAP.
No, that's an actual thing.
I know.
Oh, yeah.
I know. I've seen the abbreviation.
There's a guy who's like the biggest one of them all. His name's Joey TCAP.
Joey TCAP. Well, good for...
This is what Mike does since his team's not in the playoffs.
Hey, football and Predator, that's a weekend.
Yeah, Mike, I mean, are you invested?
Oh, of course.
You like it?
It's football.
Right. Oh, no, I know, but you said before that, like, for instance, on the Sunday night game, you won't stay up unless it's the Cowboys.
No, for this one, for the playoffs, I'd stay up for the whole thing.
Okay, yeah.
The regular
Especially when it's good.
Yeah, regular season, trying to stay up for every Sunday night game with an early wake up on Monday would be just a disaster.
Yeah. I mean, it was
it was great. I'm so happy with the Ravens.
As soon as I saw that one, I was like, I know who's happy. I know it's somewhere in Staten Island. All the noises are being made.
Lamar, Derrick Henry, it's the best.
And when do you watch like face up to the television? Like, are you very tense as you watch?
Riley at one point walked out of her room, like into the kitchen. And she's like, "Wow, you're locked in, huh?"
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. It's good for the children to see their parents like this. And actually, one day we have a sports journalist, one of the great analysts here in New York, on the phone who's about to have a kid himself. So that kid will have to not only deal with this, but know that as his wife and the kid's mother is like, I mean, ready to pop within, I don't know, a couple of weeks. His father was 2 inches away from about a 60-inch television watching the Commanders last night. Peter Rosenberg's on the phone. You know Peter Rosenberg here in New York. He's on ESPN Radio. On the new Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg. Is it Hahn or Han?
It's
okay, well, I don't know Han. I know Don. I know Rosenberg. I don't know Han.
Well, but you see that it was a play on the rhyme there. It's Don Hahn works better than Don Han. You know what I mean?
No, you're right. It'd be Han and Don, and I guess that's true. I don't know this Han, but I'm sure he's great.
Is this your first time on the Sam Roberts show, or
your first time?
I mean, the new version of what's happening here. Is this?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, this is it. You're the first sports analyst on Sam Roberts' show.
I hope this is the first of many. This is a moment in time. I'm excited. First of all, I'm thrilled for this new chapter in the Sam Roberts professional broadcasting career.
Thank you.
Second of all, I'm very into football, Sam. This new man who I've gotten to know over the last year and change, football Sam, is a very interesting guy.
Well, I mean, we're 2 seasons in, and I've told you, last night we were talking, and I said that the Commanders are easily my favorite story of the season. That's how I go by these seasons, is the stories. Last year, I loved the Jets disaster. The Jets disaster kept me locked in the entire season. I thought it was tremendous. This year, I mean, the Jets were still a disaster, but the idea that this Washington team came from, like, I remember in the beginning of the season, I was like, I don't know, they're winning some games that they probably shouldn't be winning, up until the point where now they've gone as far as they've gone. And they're doing it in such a dramatic way. I kind of couldn't believe last night that you were, because you're such a fan of the Commanders and you have been forever. You're one of these guys that, like, when they talk about the people that have been waiting years and years for Washington to get into the playoffs, it's literally you. I was surprised that you were even posting anything on social, that you hadn't gone into like this a fortress of solitude where you couldn't be bothered. No,
it was. I like sharing this content. You'll notice I don't really post when they lose, but I like posting the winning content. I like to post.
That's the good content. Yeah,
it's honestly like you're right about the story this year, but I can't even fully do justice to like what this is like. Like, not to be dramatic, I know every sort of bad franchise has their own story, but like the depths, the heights of high when I was a little kid. So they won in 87 and 91 when I was like 8 and 12 years old. Mm-hmm. So I was under the impression this was just how rooting for sports worked. Like, your team was awesome and wins the championship. Like, this is what I'm signing up for. Oh, this is great. And then they win when I'm 12, and in the 33 years that have followed, like, the lows are so indescribably bad. Like, for people who don't follow, most people's teams being bad is the team is just bad.
Right.
Like, the lows for this team were like the owner started suing old ladies because they hadn't paid their season ticket dues. I'm not making light of this. This is the most horrible thing that happened, but like, you kind of can't leave it out. The best player in the last 30 years was shot and killed during a season. I mean, I know that's like a very serious piece and it's unrelated to football, but you have to include it in like just how awful the whole karma, all the energy was so bad, Sam.
The franchise itself had to be completely redefined because it wasn't deemed socially appropriate anymore.
Yes, the entire team name had to be obliterated. And by the way, I believe that was part of the karma. So like, there were these two things karmically that were happening. And I'm not trying to blame the death of Sean Taylor on our horrible owner. Obviously, that was just a horrible thing that happened. But what I will say is, I do blame the general disrepair of the team on that guy. And the fact is, I thought this is never going to change. My entire life, the guy's only 15 years older than me. Mm-hmm. I'm going to be 75. Dan Snyder's going to be 90, and he's going to still be ruining my life. So the fact that they got him out, like, I don't know how it happened. I was going to be happy. We could have lost for another 10 years. I would have been happy he was gone. The fact that within 2 years we're now playing a second-round playoff game is insane.
So are you at the point now, right? Because they have the Lions next. And I hate to tell you this. I don't think they're going to beat the Lions, but they've beaten a lot of teams that I didn't think they were going to beat. And also, I've only been watching for 2 seasons, so what on earth would I really know anyway? Are you okay if they were to, not that you would ever want to put any negative juju on anything, but is there sort of they made it this far, that's a victory mentality, or is it we got to keep this ball rolling for as long as possible?
No, I'm very much. I actually sent out 2 or 3 text messages last night and said to fellow fans, mm-hmm. I said, "Hey guys, whatever happens over the next half, whatever it is, this was the best season since we were little kids. Like, this was,
like, you
if we lose right now, just in case, I just want to, so to answer your question, they don't have to beat Detroit for me to feel good. But I will say, the amazing thing about this sort of miracle year so far, and there has been a lot of miracles in it, it's fallen exactly how I hoped it would in terms of teams they're playing. Like, I didn't want to play Philly. I didn't really want to play the Rams. They end up playing Tampa. Boom, go to Tampa, win. That means they get to play Detroit, which I much prefer to Philly. And it's not because Detroit's not better than Philly. It's just because of the relationship. Like, I don't want to play Philly. So going to Detroit, they're a very scary team, but they've gotten beat up over the years. Over the year, they have a lot of holes and a bunch of injuries. We will, I think, move the football on this team. I like playing on turf. It's going to be a fast game for Jaden. I don't hate us against Detroit. If we can get into a shootout with Detroit, I do not hate our chances.
Last night, there was a moment where they caught that, I think it was 2017 lead, and then Tampa hit the field goal, so it was tied once again in the fourth quarter. There was, like, whatever it was, 4 minutes left or something like that. Did you feel like it was going to get taken from you?
When we held them to a field goal,
right?
Again, I was like, oh, we just keep lucking out.
Because
I thought they were moving the ball on us so well at a certain point that I again texted friends when we were up 2017 on that drive you're talking about, and I texted a couple friends and said, we're going to have to win this game. It was 20. Yeah, I said we're going to have to win this game 27-24. They are going to score a touchdown. Like, they are scoring a touchdown. The question is, will we come back and score again? So when we held them to a field goal, I went, oh, well, Jaden's going to – in my mind, I didn't want to say it out loud. When it was tied, I said, Jaden's going to go win this game. They're winning this game. His statistics with the game on the line are absolutely insane. The kid is unbelievable.
So when is your wife due, by the way?
A week and a half.
Okay, so you have 10 days before your child comes. This is why I'm nervous for you, because you've described many miracles. That in and of itself is, of course, a miracle and will be the defining moment of your life and everything. But I watched on Instagram, okay, and I've seen how you reacted when your team, when Washington won. You literally collapsed to the floor. You became a far more religious man. You acted as if, this is the most amazing thing that's ever happened in my life. Have you thought about and then I saw the feet that were filming you and realized that your 9-month pregnant wife is in the room. Have you thought at all about the fact that she will compare your reaction to meeting your child for the first time to Washington beating Tampa?
Well, first of all, I want to be clear. She's 9.5 months. And I know that did not cross my mind because my wife knows how emotional I am, and like all of my good friends, you included, know how emotional I am about this. So I think it would be surprising if all of a sudden I was like very matter of fact, like, wow, we have a baby. Like, that would be disappointing.
Right.
But the assumption is that I will be a heaping mess, and it should line up appropriately with where I'm at right now. But I'm not going to lie to you.
Mm-hmm.
I sort of have this like desire for chaos, and I sort of want the baby to come on Saturday as the game is happening. I want the chaos. I think.
You know why? Because you want all the feelings to hit at once. You're a junkie. You want all the endorphins to just smash you all at the same time. Everything's happening, and then because there is something narcissistic about watching a football game and thinking like, oh, this is all about me and my reaction to it. But if you're having a baby at the same time, that actually is something that is key to your life. So then you can almost justify all that energy.
I don't like you implying that that the Commanders are not key to my life, and also more importantly that I'm not key to their life.
No, you're
That's
right.
what I don't like.
You're right.
That's what I don't like the implication of there. But yeah, I just like I literally have all the Commanders onesies. I want her to wear one before the season ends. You know what I mean? This has been so glorious. And I'll tell you right now, Sam, there's a chance.
Yeah.
There's a chance that the name of the child
right
could reflect the passion and love for the football team.
Little Redskin Rosenberg. That is beautiful. That's
Can you believe-
gorgeous.
And you know what? And it's a middle finger to all the libtards like myself
That's
who are
right.
against the name, who are for the name change.
That's right. That's right. It's about time you gave them what for. Are you going to be able to, like, I mean, I'm assuming, but how much time do you guys get to spend on this versus like local sports, since you're on a New York platform?
It's the worst part of my job is that like I can do some, but like, you know, today we got to talk about the Jets coaching hunt, and I'm like, who wants to talk about these losers?
Right.
Let's talk about a winner.
Right. You're 100% right. Well, look,
and I'm
man.
trying to figure out. I should get your advice later
Yeah.
on like how to do it, where like I can sneak it in this heelish way and still make it part of the show the way I want to, in a way that works.
It's
'Cause
risky.
It has to be done.
Trust me when I tell you it's I mean, this is what these are the remnants of the Michael Kay show. Trust me, if anybody knows, trying to figure out how to organically sort of weave into a new show is a very risky scenario. I don't know if you want to be the heel just yet.
You know what? I mean, I think you and I should chat about this.
All right, man. Well, congratulations. The Commanders doinked their way into the playoffs, and yeah, it's incredible.
R.I.P. Matt Bourne.
R.I.P.
Congrats on this show, and thank you guys. We'll talk soon.
Thank you, buddy. I mean, so to put into perspective, Peter Rosenberg is to the Commanders as Wolf Blitzer is to the Buffalo Bills.
Okay, now I know.
So you understand, because people are like, well, why are you talking to this guy about the Commander? That's the level of fandom he's at. And I was very excited for the Buffalo Bills because I loved the Bills fans. I loved that they would go to shots and they were playing in Buffalo yesterday. It's whatever it is, 15 degrees. And there's like 8-year-old kids and their parents are just letting them pop their shirts off and just cheer for the team. And I go, who's part of the Bills Mafia? Wolf Blitzer posts this photo on Twitter. I mean, just the idea of like wearing a Buffalo hat and pointing at the television as the Buffalo game is on is already kind of weird enough.
Like, oh,
that's what you were watching. You know, the Bills from the TV. But then you look at this guy's TV setup. And Wolf Blitzer, who works in television, he's been in television for decades at this point, and he's got, not only does he have like an old school, that's a television cabinet. I have not seen a television cabinet in eons. You can tell because look at the sides of it. Those are the doors that slide out and fold in. So that way, you know, when company comes over, you think there's just a nice boudoir or whatever it is. And then you slide the doors back, and there's a brand new 30-inch television.
What's that, 480p?
I mean, it's insane. It's like a flat screen, but before there was high definition. Wolf Blitzer pointing.
Like, that's probably a real thick TV.
It's probably very thick. Like, the screen itself is flat, but there's about 3 feet behind it.
2-inch bezels.
The bezels are out of control.
Looks like he still has a VCR.
I mean, bro, we haven't even gotten below the
Troy,
TV.
you got a good eye.
Dude, Wolf Blitzer pointing at his television is just big Michael Scott pointing at his mini TV vibes to me. It's insane. He's got this TV, right? And first of all, it's not even true widescreen. It's square.
Yeah.
I mean, remember when they first started programming HD? And they would put, you know, the little bug that they put in like the lower corner of the screen?
Yep.
Remember, you would watch the widescreen shows, and the bug would be tucked all the way in because they knew everybody was still watching box TVs. Wolf is the only one that's pissed that they stopped doing that because he's missing half the show.
Wolf's not getting the full game.
No, because he's watching 4x3 the way it's supposed to be done, he says. He said, I work in TV. It's a 4x3 medium. So he's got this, like, I mean, this TV has to be from, I'll give him the 2000s, but I won't give him much past 9/11.
Dude, maybe.
I mean, I'm thinking 2002 is the newest this TV could possibly be.
Tops.
It's like the beginning of flat screen. The speaker is on the bottom of it. There's a stand attached to it at the bottom, so it's not, you couldn't mount it. I'm sure it's too thick. He's got his big remotes, and then this is how you know. Plug like under the TV in the proper compartments because it's a ritzy TV stand. He's got a straight up, like not ironic, not throwback, VCR for VHS tapes. And I zoomed in, and Travis, you can zoom in on this photo if you want.
Mm-hmm.
The device next to the VCR is a standard DVD player, not Blu-ray. It is a DVD, and as a matter of fact, the sticker is still on it, which is
probably in case he wants to sell it.
It's DVD. Look at that slash
DVD CD.
It's a DVD CD player, so you could get these machines plugged into that TV. And these machines, I can guarantee you, don't have HDMI out.
No. You know how I know that?
How do you know?
I see a little red, yellow, white.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. He's got the type of VCR that if you stack two on top of each other, you could plug them into each other and start doing dubs. But it is hi-fi. You know what that means? High fidelity. The play button, like Wolf Blitzer, without irony, still does the tracking. Wait a minute. Scroll down.
Yeah.
Scroll.
What is
you notice that?
His remote's in a bag.
His remote's in a plastic bag.
Well, he's already got.
Oh my God!
4 remotes up here.
Look at all those remotes up there. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4 remotes on the top shelf.
There's his Xfinity.
I'll tell you exactly.
Box.
You know what the remote is that's down there still in the bag?
The TV remote?
No, I bet it's the Xfinity remote because he doesn't want to use any of the new shit.
Well, look, he's got a remote in a bag up top on the right.
Does he? Okay,
move
over to the other side of the Xfinity box.
He does.
Oh my!
And there's another remote in a bag. And look at all those wires dangling down from the top of that box. Can you imagine how frustrated the cable installer was that came over? He's like, "What do you want me to plug it into?" He's like, "This, my TV." It's like, you work in TV. Look, he's bigger than the TV is. Like, it's not. It's got to be a 30-inch. It's nothing.
Maybe that's the most he can afford.
He's been working at CNN since the beginning of CNN. Him and James Earl Jones were the first hires.
That's a good point.
He's a humble guy.
I think it is a miracle that he's like, even if I went to my parents' house and saw this, knowing that my parents are of a certain age, they're retired, they're over it, they're done. And I saw all this, I go, guys, you can't live like this.
Found it. It's 2006.
It's a 2006. Let's see the stats. Okay, it's a 32-inch. Oh, it's an LCD.
It's an LCD TV.
You know, this is because in 2006 they actually made televisions that were designed to last.
Oh yeah.
Okay, if you've been looking around for an LCD TV for a while and think you've seen this sharp.
Oh, hang on. He might have an even older model.
Okay, let's check the older model. Okay, good call.
Yeah, this could be. It's possible that this is an older model.
We got to do the research here because that's the 2006 model.
Yeah, I don't
and
know.
it says it's 850 pounds.
Oh. Yeah, there was a 2005.
I think I'm going to go 05 to tell you the truth. I mean.
Oh, there's nothing dated about its appearance. It's strikingly metallic. Titanium finish is as robust as it is stylish.
I mean, it is actually.
It is robust.
I mean, it's robust, but looks like it's from a different time.
It is.
2006?
Yeah.
But they said there is nothing dated about its appearance. Actually, every single thing about its appearance is extremely dated. I mean, some people, they just like, does it say like.
There's one HDMI
Which is probably just there to be like, to future-proof it.
Right. At the time, it was like, you will need this eventually.
Yeah, don't worry. We future-proofed the television.
Right now, you're still good with the red, yellow, white.
He's like, no, we have 4 different red, yellow, white. We have RCA inputs, like, out the wazoo, Wolf. He's like, this is the one.
It's got an FM tuner input.
Oh, okay, that's great.
So you can use it to set a radio.
So that means that you could listen to your CDs. You CDs nuts. You could listen to your CDs on the DVD player, and you could listen to your FM radio on the television. You know, my TV's got FM radio.
Yeah.
By the way, this is why, like, people who have been in broadcast TV forever, when they get shit canned, they have no idea what to do. There's no way that they can just kind of start doing things on their own because they've completely lost track with how people consume media in any way, shape, or form. Are we looking at the back? Are we looking at the inputs?
I remember these.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, those, what could you plug into them?
Computer?
I guess, right? You never used them.
I remember these.
And I never used those, and I never used the blue, red, green inputs. I think those were for like a surround sound stereo system or something like that.
Yes. My first one had those. I
Yeah.
remember that, yeah. But that was around the time Wolf got this TV. I've since...
05?
Probably, yeah.
Man.
Yeah. That's back when everything was like wired.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, look at all the wires. They're right behind his TV set. You can see him.
No, it's great. He's crushing it.
He is crushing it, dude. I mean, can you imagine having it long enough that there are nostalgia collectors that he's had it long enough that it's starting to get cool again?
He's like, I would pay a pretty penny for that TV.
Man.
That's vintage.
And he loves Buffalo. I went through it all. I went through his Twitter account to see if there's any other fun stuff, and he keeps tweeting about Buffalo. You would think if somebody likes watching Buffalo football this much,
yeah,
like people buy televisions the day of the Super Bowl
for sport,
just because they're like, you know what? I've decided I want to watch the Super Bowl on something amazing.
He was raised in Buffalo. He was born in Germany, raised in Buffalo, graduated from the University of Buffalo.
Nice.
So, yeah.
And then he bought that TV right after he graduated and said, this is all I'll ever need.
I think with his first paycheck from CNN.
That's what I was thinking. That's his first big CNN contract. He bought a TV, and that's all he's ever had ever since. It's amazing. Wolf Blitzer, man.
He rules. Good for him.
Do you think he watches VHS?
Yeah. Absolutely.
I do too, actually.
There's no reason to still have a VHS player if you're not still watching VHS.
I think he's got a cabinet of VHS tapes. Oh, I bet he's such a pain in the ass at work. I'll bet he's the one guy at CNN who, when he needs a tape of something to bring home, because he's, working on a report or something, I'll bet he's the one guy that he still needs them to put it on VHS for them.
No. I want it on a tape.
I need it on VHS.
How am I going to rewind?
Also, can you send the IT kid over to my house? My computer's having issues. He's like, I mean, Steve Jobs had just come back to Apple when you got this computer. We can't do it.
Good for Wolf. He's living his life.
I wonder what kind of phone he's got. I mean, clearly this was taken on an iPhone or something, like a decent phone, but I don't know. That's his phone.
No. He probably has a Nokia.
You think so?
Probably. Or a flip phone.
Maybe a Jitterbug?
Yeah, he might have a Jitterbug.
He might have a Jitterbug.
He's 76.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with that.
No. He has no idea how to function outside of work. I'm convinced of it. Wow. And they did. That's a new cable box, though. That's one of the new, like, sort of no buttons connected to the internet cable box.
He probably fought tooth and nail to not get that.
Absolutely. Of course he did. Do you have any idea? Does he have kids?
I don't know.
Do you have any idea?
He can't have kids. No kid would let their parents.
Oh, I thought you just meant because who's fucking Wolf.
No.
No way. I know how kids are made, and that dude is not making kids. Trust me when I tell you. I found out recently how kids are made. That dude ain't making one.
The only thing under personal life on his Wikipedia is that he's a Bills fan.
Wow. I mean, nothing going on outside of, like,
news
work.
And Bills.
Yeah. Man.
No, he's married. They've been married since 1973.
And no kids.
They have one daughter.
Okay.
Alana.
The daughter is probably, I mean...
She was born in 81, so she's 43.
Yeah, she just gets harassed with technical problems.
Yeah.
She gets her life is turned upside down with the phone calls that she gets.
Oh, she's an anchor. She's a TV anchor.
He's like, I'll get you a gig
in Bethesda.
Maryland. Another Commanders fan, maybe.
Oh, maybe a little rivalry brewing.
Maybe Commander, maybe who knows?
Maybe Ravens.
Maybe Ravens, who knows?
Okay.
Are you hollering?
Is that her with Topanga? That kind of looks like Topanga.
I don't think that's Topanga. She does not know Topanga.
Why say it like that?
I mean, she doesn't know Topanga, okay? Ken in South Carolina.
Hey, guys. Okay, you guys are killing me, you AV specialists over there. So, the colors, you're like just calling them by the colors on the end of the connectors.
Yeah, that's what they are.
You got to plug in the red to the red, the yellow to the yellow, the white to the white, and then you could start bootlegging your wrestling
What else
tapes.
is there to know?
Yeah.
That's called a composite connection. The one that's red, blue, green, that's a component connection. Then you have your display port, which looks like an HDMI, except it's bigger and square. It doesn't carry audio. HDMI. Don't forget your S-Video, which is like that 7-pin connector.
Okay.
So did you like?
So yeah, it's all old school. Yeah.
When they came out with HDMI, were you like crying because all this information is useless now? It's just plug in the HDMI to everything.
Pretty much, and I still have a box of all the old cables, just in case.
I know somebody who needs them.
Send them to
Wolf.
Wolf.
I'll send them right over to Wolf.
Yeah. Wolf Blitzer. Thank you, Ken.
All right, later,
guys. Adam in Minnesota. What's up, Adam?
Hey, Sam.
Hey, man.
You're talking about stories. This is an amazing story for the Vikings. They were supposed to be only 6.5 wins from Vegas this year. Went 14-2 until they lost horribly to the Detroit Lions. Now we're going to go to Arizona and kick some ass.
You think so? Are you confident?
Absolutely. Look at Sam Darnold. That's another story you should be watching. He was playing for the Jets and then Carolina and then 49ers, and now he's been rejuvenated with
I know, but don't you?
And it could be the double purple Super Bowl this year for Travis.
Oh, I'll take that.
Double purple.
Double perps.
Yeah, and then you know who they'd
Vikings,
have
Ravens?
toss the coin?
Who?
Undertaker. Yeah. Purple gloves. So, but don't you feel like kind of a shithead because you're really not supposed to root against the Rams tonight?
What? Who cares?
Well, they had to move the whole game.
They'll be fine.
You think they'll be all right?
They'll be fine.
All right. If anything,
everybody's
this
caring
is an
about
escape.
them, but I do have one quick favor to ask about for Travis. I know his DMs are open, but I didn't get a response.
Oh.
I'm really looking for that interview that you did with Dan about that giant rabbit. I've been looking for it for like a year, and I have no idea where I can find it.
Travis, where can you get the interview you did with Dan about the rabbit?
I don't even know I honestly don't even know what he's talking
No, that Sam did with
Sam.
with Dan Soder when Jim was out.
Talking about the giant rabbit?
I believe you. This must have been years ago.
It was years ago.
Interesting.
But just of 1 year, like maybe last year, and I've told all these people about it. I've looked on subreddits and everything. I just have no idea where to find it.
Adam, I'll look for it.
Maybe it's the Mandela effect.
It could be, yeah. I'll try to find that.
Yeah, we'll find it. Thank you, Adam.
What's so interesting about a giant rabbit story?
Well, I don't know, but clearly if we don't remember he did, maybe he's right. Maybe it was really hilarious. Me and Dan Soder going back and forth. It sounds like a recipe for hilarity.
Sure, Dan Soder's the man, but like,
well, there was two
Right,
of
so
us.
then
There was,
what's
I
the
mean, we were
question?
both there. It's not just Dan Soder's the man.
Go on. To go on Reddit and be like, the rabbit.
Yeah, but if you
Why
really
would you-
want something.
Why would you work for a show and then make fun of
Yeah.
people for really liking the show?
That's right.
What's wrong with you?
It's a weird take.
That's like being like, guys, I know you like black caviar, but the streams, it's like, listen once, it's
Yeah, who
enough.
cares?
Who gives a fuck? Like, what are you dancing to the song?
It's a weird thing to be overly because he called before.
Okay, you need to take your little agenda as a call screener and lock it in. Keep it to yourself. Okay. We don't have the same frustrations that you do.
Yeah, we should be celebrating the fact that people are like aggressively looking for a Sam Roberts clip.
It's awesome.
Yeah, that's great.
And you're mad you got to answer one phone call.
No, I just don't see that rabbit was mentioned in an interview years ago, and we have to like.
Maybe
go
they did a-
through the
maybe they did a whole
archives to
riff.
find out for Adam what the hell he's
I'm
doing.
going to do it for Adam because I respect him.
What if it was great and
Yeah.
we forgot about it? I forget about things all the time that we do on the show. Sometimes I wish I could forget about the call screener.
It's not nice. I'm sitting right here.
Okay, well, I'm just saying. While we're just saying things, you brought it up.
It's just weird to be shitty about that. Oh,
So
listeners actually enjoy the show.
Yeah, I mean, God damn it. So yes, we got the Vikings and the Rams
Tonight, yeah.
Yes,
In Arizona.
and then the winner faces Philly. Next week. I feel like Philly had everything pointed in their direction. I felt like what's his name doing Quinion Mitchell or Quinion. He did the worst.
I was barely watching that game.
Well, he did the worst pedigree.
No, I saw you mention something about.
He tried. I said, yeah, he did. I think it was his like first career interception.
Okay.
And you know, it's a big game for your first career interception. That's a pretty exciting thing. But he grabbed his teammate and tried to execute a pedigree. And his teammate was like, "What are you doing, dude?" I mean, it was one of the worst pedigrees I've ever seen. Triple H retweeted it and said, "This is why we say don't try this at home."
Did he really?
Yes, he did. Just a absolute. I mean, just give him a suck it. That's a hideous pedigree.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe a choke slam. Anybody could pull off a choke slam.
Like Austin trying to do a stunner on Vince.
Oh yeah, the last one.
Yeah,
at WrestleMania.
It's just so. Yeah, he didn't know what was going on.
No, and this guy goes all the way down.
Or they didn't practice it enough.
These two are Austin and Vince.
Those two.
Oh yeah.
Both.
Yeah, I don't think they practiced at all, and it really does give respect to anybody that's taken a pedigree for real because this is like, it's only like. You're never going to get a do-over. That's your first career interception.
Yeah.
And that's how I'm going to remember it.
A shitty pedigree?
Terrible pedigree. This guy has no idea what he's doing. And before we get to the national anthem, Adam in Minnesota.
All right, Troy. Let's quit all this craziness here, okay? I love you. You're awesome, but I mean, it was a hilarious bit where you guys, Sam and Dan, went back and forth for like an hour talking about this giant rabbit from England, and it died on the plane, and the person wanted it back, and it got lost or it got destroyed or something, and you guys had talked about how we thought that it was stolen, and I forget the name of the fucking rabbit, but it was hilarious, and I'm sorry, Troy, that you didn't think it was that funny or that you're that interested in
He's
what
an
people
asshole,
are
Adam.
calling about.
He's an asshole. We finally got one person that's like, you know what I'd like to hear? Sam riff. That's a rarity, okay? It doesn't happen that often. And finally somebody does, and Troy's like, oh, who cares?
Well, first of all, Adam, it sounds like you remember the story, so I don't know why you need to hear it again.
It's
second of all,
it's not a search for information.
Second of all, if you listen to the show, every day Sam's saying something funny.
Just enjoy that. Adam, you're in the right here.
And Dan Soder's the man, and he says funny shit all the time. So,
Sam, you remember the story from The Sopranos?
What?
So you never have to watch it again, right? Because you remember it.
That honestly is his thing.
That's it. Yes, I saw it once.
But by the way, Adam, Troy right now is doing the exact same thing that he did with Squid Game. Okay, he's telling you that because you can somewhat summarize the bit, you get full credit for listening, and you never have to enjoy it again. He said, yes, I can summarize Squid Game, therefore I get full credit for watching, and I never have to watch again. It doesn't occur to him that people consume media for the purpose of enjoyment. And sometimes they'd like to feel that enjoyment again, whether it draws a laugh, and
that it's okay to listen to something more than once.
It's encouraged.
Or watch something more than once.
He also loves the Queen movie.
Yeah.
That's a great, Adam, you said it all. That's a great point. That's really, that does kind of sum it all up, doesn't it?
All right, I'm signing off, boys.
All right, thank you, Adam.
Sounds like you remember.
Okay. By the way,
hang on.
If I know what's going to happen.
I know what's going to happen.
You don't know what's going to happen. You didn't know until I said it.
So
You didn't know.
You don't think I know this clown?
Andy in South Carolina.
Hey, how's it going, you guys?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm doing great. I just wanted to call because I really enjoyed that rabbit story back in the day.
That's not what the phone screen says.
Oh, Troy must have misunderstood me.
Oh, you thought the rabbit... Go ahead.
It's a difficult job. He's having a rough morning. But if I have to be out here doing Troy's job for him anyways, the rabbit story was December 8th, 2017.
Wow.
Hey, look at that. Oh, Troy, you look like an idiot.
No, I don't.
You
All
kind
right.
of do, Troy.
I stand corrected, I guess.
All right, if that's what it actually
Thank
was,
you, Andy.
Adam, if you DM me, I will figure out a way to get you that segment.
How's he going to DM you?
Just my DMs are open.
He said it.
But only Adam. I'm not doing it for anybody else.
Well, okay, so don't anybody else. Don't ask Travis for any specific bits. Whatever you do, don't go to Travis's Twitter account, Travis Taft, and DM him just asking for random bits. And especially don't make bits up that don't exist and ask Travis to go find them.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm not going to look for it. This is an Adam only exclusive.
And don't introduce yourself as Adam. So that Travis has no way of deciphering who is the true Adam. What I'm telling you is...
I'm so lost.
What I'm telling you is don't do that. Okay? Good. Now that we're all clear. Did you watch the Eagles national anthem?
No.
Wait, you want to get inspired? Did you see this, Mike?
I did.
This dude ruled, huh? He's a hell of a saxophonist.
I guess there was so much football on that the playing of the saxophone just kind of got lost in the wash for me.
I like to break it up sometimes. It's like, what do I do to take a breath? And it's like some guy's like pulls out a saxophone. I'm like, good for you. And of all places, I guess I just found it ballsy that it's like, what are we going to do in Philly to perform the national anthem? Let's get some guy on a saxophone. Do you know how good you have to be at saxophone to pull off the national anthem in Philly in a stadium full of Philly football fans during the playoffs?
I would have preferred they got like a chorus of guys with hard Delco accents to do an a cappella version.
Sure, that would have been good. Listen, and his name is Vanya Sax?
Vanya Sax. I think that's his birth name.
I think so too. Yeah. Of the Philly Saxes?
Yeah.
He's related to Steve, right?
Steve Sax, yep.
And Harry.
Harry Sax.
Okay, Troy.
Yeah, listen to this, Travis. You're going to be blown away.
Saxophone.
Oh, you see that little stank he put on it there? Philly's like, we actually kind of like that. They let out a legit eagle. A legit eagle. I mean, come on. They're saluting the Sax, okay? It's one of the best national anthems I've ever seen done. An eagle.
Large talons.
Yeah, the answer to that question is yes. What? What?
All right, that fucks.
What? I mean, look.
Trying to make some babies.
He had his pick of the litter as far as women went. Now, it was Philly, so, you know, but he had his
Vanya?
pick. Yeah, oh yeah, Vanya Sax. Whatever he wanted. I mean, that guy's incredible.
Yep.
You see how long he hit that note? Somewhere Kenny G is furious.
Just like, what the fuck?
What the fuck?
Give him a run for his money.
Yeah.
Yes, he did, and he's young. And he fucks.
You think?
I mean, clearly. Vanya, you kidding me? Let that eagle out? And he's on Instagram, huh?
This is YouTube.
Oh, that's YouTube. Oh, he's on YouTube. Whoa.
169 subscribers.
Nice. Nice. I'd stop it right there. That's perfect. Yeah, man. This guy rules.
Oh, yeah.
They let out an eagle.
I mean, that was cool.
The whole thing. And so was the Sax, dude.
And the game sucked.
Eagles lost?
No, they won.
They won,
Oh,
dude.
the Eagles are great.
You like the Eagles, right?
Yeah.
How are you going to lose after that?
By the way, you can tell Troy's a big Eagles fan. He just asked if they lost.
Well, because I have friends that all my friends are wearing Eagles gear, so I didn't, check to see what the score was. But I mean, I hope they win.
They won.
Okay, good.
They won. They did. They won 22-10 against Green Bay.
Not a good game.
Wow, is that because you don't like the Eagles?
No, it's just, the Packers were just never in it.
Are you pissed that they didn't let a Raven out at your game?
No, we don't need to do that bullshit.
I gotcha. You thought this was ridiculous horseplay to distract.
This is gimmicks.
I gotcha. You don't need gimmicks. You're real.
We just yell "Oh" during the national anthem because it's Orioles.
Even at the Ravens games?
Yeah, oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Nice.
Loud. Real loud.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, he's crushing it. I don't hate this at all. We can book him.
Well, I'd love to have him in. He's great. I hope he plays more than just the national anthem.
Actually, that's all I do.
And one more time. Yeah, so if Minnesota can get by the Rams tonight, then they got to deal with the Eagles that have actual Eagles. And maybe you're right about the boring game, because I did see at one point A.J. Brown. Did you see A.J. Brown on the sidelines?
Yeah, he was just reading a book.
Well, but he's ready. It was a good book. I zoomed in. I love zooming in to get the details. He was reading Inner Excellence.
Okay.
On the sidelines of the game. So A.J. Brown, one of the players on the Eagles, mid-game, the Eagles kind of had it in the bag, so the camera just caught him, and he was just on the sidelines reading a book called Inner Excellence, just, getting some tips.
Well, he didn't have anything to worry about.
No, and I think he explained it's 90% mental, 10% physical, so he figured physically they really kind of had it. They were pretty much good at that point, so let me make sure mental is right.
That's so funny.
Oh, did they? Yeah, of course I'm not the only one that figured out it was Inner Excellence. I'll bet they're selling so much Inner Excellence today.
Oh, yeah.
Well, after that huge performance he had.
And Philadelphia is known as a more optimistic than usual city, so I'm sure.
A city of readers.
That's
too.
right. Readers and they just love the self-help genre.
That famous Philly intellect.
That's right. So, Inner Excellence, train your mind for extraordinary performance and the best possible life. I would think, if you're in the playoffs, you're in the NFL. First, just being in the NFL is like a dream come true. It is so difficult to get into the NFL at all. Then you're in the playoffs. Then you're in a playoff game where you're clearly going to win the game. In terms of figuring out mentally how to have the best life possible, I kind of feel like you just need to look out and breathe in and go hey man, this is pretty great. Look what I've accomplished. But I guess you could also just read the book. What does that say? The pursuit of extraordinary performance, it's easy to succumb to anxiety and pressure because so much is out of your control, reads one highlight. They got his highlighted passages. When you learn to live a life that is fully engaged, however, then you can perform your best and love the challenge. How about this? If it's the playoffs and there's a moment mid-game on the sidelines for you to read this exact passage, maybe you don't have that much anxiety.
Yeah,
maybe things are okay.
If not for reading that, would he have caught one pass for 10 yards yesterday?
I think that was mainly the book. And had he not had that one play, would they have still won the game?
Probably. Saquon did a great job.
Okay. All right. Well, it's a team effort. Well, that's good. I'm glad. I'm.
They didn't need Brown yesterday.
Not yet. I'm sure they'll need him in the future.
Sure, yeah, he's one of the best.
But just yesterday, he didn't need him, so catch up on his reading. Can you imagine? It's probably very difficult while the season's happening to find those moments to just kind of get some R&R and read a little bit.
Well, Kyler Murray, the Arizona Cardinals quarterback, is famous for stopping all football activities when a new Call of Duty comes out. He is obsessed with Call of Duty.
He likes that game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so he'll
it does not matter if it's in the middle of the season or not.
He prefer to play.
He will prefer to play Call of Duty.
That's his preferences.
Loves Call of Duty.
There's a new COD.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of 13-year-olds insulting me over my headset. I got to play Call of Duty for a while. I mean, I guess if you can still deliver, that's fine.
Here, look, people have done statistical analyses of Kyler Murray's performances when Call of Duty comes out.
Okay, and does it look at all that data?
Yeah.
What's Jonah Hill in Moneyball doing it?
Like, I can't even read any of this.
No. What does it say? He's better or worse when there's Call of Duty?
I believe worse.
And what are they attributing that to? The
amount of Call of Duty that he plays versus practicing.
So you're saying because his attention is spent on Call of Duty.
Mm-hmm.
That's like me on this radio show in WrestleMania season and out of WrestleMania season. Yeah.
Funny.
I love that. But I love that he doesn't really care. It is, I mean, it's a mindset to be sitting there making millions of dollars to play football. Millions. But somehow Call of Duty can grab your attention. I feel like I'd have such pressure on me to make sure that I earn, because you're getting this astronomical salary. I feel like I'd have such pressure on me to earn my keep.
Yeah.
That I'd be like, let me save Call of Duty. Plus, I'd try to remind myself, I have 8 months off a year? 7-8 months off a year to play
football?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, that's a year-round job. You're still conditioning and practicing. And
you get a good couple months after the season where you don't... You
playing in the UFL.
I don't think you're supposed to play in other leagues while you're off.
If The Rock asks me to play in the UFL...
I'm playing. If The Rock asks me to do whatever, I'm doing whatever. Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. But I'm pretty sure those NFL contracts are football exclusive.
All right.
But I don't know. I'm not a lawyer.
But I mean, in baseball, people play Winter League. They go down to the Dominican Republic. It's like, they're constantly...
Why?
To stay in shit, to stay sharp.
They don't take a couple months off after the season?
I'm sure here and there.
That's what I'm saying. That's your Call of Duty time. Okay. And then you start to slowly get... But I mean, look, listen. If A.J. Brown is reading Inner Excellence on the sidelines during the playoffs, if Mr. Cardinals is out here playing Call of Duty mid-season, I'm going to guarantee that there's a percentage of players that maybe don't take the game seriously enough to stay in the best shape off-season. Should they? Yes. Yes, they should. I'm not sure that they do. All right, let's take a break. I mean, there's so much to talk about. Okay. Before we take a break, real quick.
I'm getting DMs now.
You should just be getting the one. I thought I made those instructions clear. You should just be getting the one DM.
Clearly getting more than one.
Is Tom Brady going to end his broadcasting career because he keeps fiddling with the Raiders? Is this what we're doing?
I don't know. It may be.
Because he might. Because it does seem like the type of thing where, I mean...
Yeah, because if he becomes like a minority owner of the Raiders or whatever, I don't know if he can call those games.
And he's already like in a position where he can't he already in the spot that he's in, can't say negative things about other teams or officials? Like
Possibly. Maybe.
I think that's true now. Like I think he almost got in trouble.
Well, he could say negative things about Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, but that has to be like low key. Yeah. He could low key say something about Baker Mayfield. But other than that, he can't really do it. And I guess it wouldn't surprise me because even though he's got a $375 million contract with Fox Sports
for 10 years.
For 10 years. He's done so far, he's about to finish 1 of the 10. And they're saying he may already have to step away because he's getting more and more involved with the Raiders.
Yep.
And honestly, for someone like Tom Brady, he doesn't need the money. That's the thing. Like $300 million or no $300 million. He can make $0 million, even with the divorce, still be absolutely fine. And he just strikes me as the type of guy who wants to be hands-on, And there's something about the broadcast booth that I'm sure that he finds. You're commenting on what's going on, but you're not hands-on the way that you would be in the manager's office.
Also, people keep ridiculing his performance.
Well, listen, give him some time, people.
He's not the worst I've ever heard.
They haven't been generous.
No,
they're not.
I don't mind him, but
I don't either.
But
and he's doing the Super Bowl.
He is doing the Super Bowl.
Sure, Fox has a Super Bowl.
They're paying him, dude.
Yeah.
They're paying him. He should be doing the Super Bowl. I heard when Netflix was like, hey, can we have Tom Brady? Fox was like, oh, of course you cannot have Tom Brady. No.
Yeah, he can't attend in-person or online production meetings.
Right, because of his
role with the Raiders. Furthermore, he's not allowed to criticize game officials. That makes sense, and other teams.
Right.
In his capacity as an analyst.
Right. Right. So
yeah, some people are speculating that it will be unfeasible for him to balance those interests.
I mean,
and maybe that's an easy way for Fox to get out of that deal.
Maybe. I mean,
maybe they're like, shit. That's a lot of money.
It's a ton of money. It's a pain in the dick to have to sign Tom Brady and then not have Tom Brady. But you're right. People have not been generous with his performance. Although I don't think it's bad. I mean, he's learning how to do it. He's the greatest football player of all time. Like, he would have good insight. Although if he can't give the insight because it's conflicting with his relationship with the Raiders, then what's the point?
No, I mean, he can give the insight. He just can't be critical.
An analyst that can't be critical?
Yeah, he could be like, that was almost a really good play.
Right. I mean, I don't know that there's that much of a market, even if you're Tom Brady, for an analyst that can't be critical. Right. I mean, that's the color part of color commentary.
An analyst who only speaks in vagaries?
Yes. Yes. Well, I could see where some people would say that. What about you? What would you say?
People are saying that was not a good throw.
Some would say the officiating is questionable. Are you one of them? I prefer not to say. Yeah, I mean, he looks at the camera better than he used to. Remember that first game?
He does.
He was staring at his partner's cheek the entire time. He has improved over the season.
Yes.
Which is the mark of whether or not this. To me, if you're improving, you can continue to improve. Once you stop improving, then it's like, oh, okay, this is the finished product and we may be in trouble. And, he's not Terry Bradshaw yet. Give him 40 years.
There does seem to be a large swath of the NFL viewing audience that no matter who the analyst is, they're disgusted with.
Right. That's true.
Collinsworth, Greg Olsen, Brady, Romo.
That's true. The nicest thing I've seen written about Greg Olsen is he's better than Tom Brady. Yeah. But you're right. They do. But I think it's because, that's something. Number one, it's something about that position that every football fan thinks that they could do a better job.
Well, they always said the big complaint that every one of them has is that the analyst is against their team.
And of course, yeah. They're a homer. They're against my team.
And they have an impact on the outcome of the game.
Of course they do. They're in the booth. They have a lot of power up there.
It's a very, boomer dad complaint.
Yeah.
Boomer dads hate the analyst.
This guy doesn't know. So, I guess... Well, see, that it is interesting, though, if maybe it's one of those Montreal Screwjob scenarios where Fox is like, look, if you think you should go do the Raiders stuff, maybe you should go. I think you should probably go. Would you like us to help negotiate it? You should go.
You saying Tom screwed Tom?
I have no sympathy for Tom Brady. No, I think, that might be the bright side, but I think I would imagine that Fox wants somebody the caliber of Tom Brady in their booth, but I don't know.
I think they would be thrilled to get somebody at half the price.
Yeah. I mean, because it does make the Fox show seem like a bigger show.
Sure. It's a big
deal. The fact
that
Tom Brady is on that show makes the Fox show seem like a big show. Do the ratings change that much with somebody else in the booth? I would agree with you, Travis. I don't think they do. I think at the end of the day, people are watching for football, and it's almost like you got that boost. You got the press release, you got the announcement, you got the year, people saw him on the field. You got that initial oomph. Mm-hmm. So maybe it just makes more sense that way. I don't know. We'll see. It'll be interesting to see, but we will take a break. I did promise on Instagram that we would talk about Natalia Grace Season 3, and as I said, I am exhausted by it, so maybe we should. Did any of you guys watch it? No. Yeah.
I saw part 1.
Okay, so you kind of get where they're going.
Yeah. Well, it leaves you at a cliffhanger, but then if you see what the title of the next show is, it's like, oh, okay.
What's the title of episode 2?
Well, I mean, it shows you what happens.
Oh, perfect. All right, so we'll talk about that. There's like a couple of moments that I thought were worth highlighting. So we'll talk about that. We'll be right back. Stay there.
We'll be right back with Sam Roberts Show.
Hey, this is Jeff Foxworthy.
This is Larry the Cable Guy.
And we're excited to tell you about our exclusive SiriusXM channel.
Jeff and Larry's Comedy Roundup. Every hour of every day, we're going to bring you the best comedy from some of the best and our favorite comedians.
Like Nate Borgazzi, Dusty Slay, and Leanne Morgan, just to name a few.
By the way, she owes me money.
And we each host our own shows every week.
Jeff and Larry's Comedy Roundup.
SiriusXM 97, your home for great American comedy.
Are you ready to thrive in 2025? Kickstart your personal upgrade on the SiriusXM app with our collection of top self-improvement podcasts.
The Mel Robbins Podcast.
The Ramsey Show.
Ask Eliza anything.
Soundtracks for meditation.
Learn and grow on a daily basis.
Genre-spanning workout channels and more.
Soul Cycle Radio.
I work out. Just search 2025 on the SiriusXM app.
This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. We get to the new year, we're thinking about what we want to change, what we want to do better. Every January brings 365 blank pages on a calendar, all waiting to be filled in 2025. Maybe you're ready for a plot twist. Think of therapy as your editorial partner, helping you write new chapters and create the meaningful story you deserve to live. Therapy can help you get through these ideas that are in your head. All these ideas that are in your head are sometimes tied up in knots. In therapy, everything gets smoothed out. Everything becomes clear. BetterHelp is fully online, making therapy affordable and convenient, serving over 5 million people worldwide. Access a diverse network of more than 30,000 credentialed therapists with a wide range of specialties. Easily switch therapists anytime at no extra cost. Write your story with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/Teft to get 10% off your first month. BetterHelp.com/TEFT.
LendSeek understands that small businesses are the real champions of our economy. Whether you run a cozy local retail shop, a reliable contracting company, an innovative online business, or any professional services, we've got you covered for all your funding needs. That's why LendSeek is 100% committed to ensure that businesses across America have access to the necessary working capital they need to grow and be successful, regardless of the current political and economic environment. Our mission is to be your trusted and dependable business funding source. At LendSeek.com, our AI-based lending marketplace enables you to access up to $1 million in business funding with no collateral, no prepayment penalties, and no restrictions on how the funds are put to work. If you've been in business for more than 1 year with annual revenue of at least $250,000, you can receive funding in as fast as 24 hours. There's no obligation and absolutely no cost to apply now at LendSeek.com. That's LendSeek.com.
Selling your home? On Ready.com, real estate agents will pay you upfront for your listing. $1,000, $2,000, $10,000? Just for a chance to sell your home. Why would they pay to be your agent? Well, your listing is really valuable. So, if an agent is smart, they'll go on Ready and offer you cash up front to get it. And you do want a smart agent, right? So go to Ready.com, REDY.com. Simply give us the basic information about your property. We'll notify all those smart agents who've signed up on Ready, and in 48 hours, they'll be competing for a chance to sell your home. Chat with them, choose the best one, get paid. Thousands of extra dollars in your pocket, and it's still day one. Smart agents. Smart you. Get more when you sell your home. Go to Ready.com, REDY.com, or call 888-880-READY.
From health and healing to breakthroughs in the lab, a world of expertise with understandable vocab. Doctors on the air with answers and care. Just a phone call away. They're always prepared. From the heart to the brain, every ache and pain, Dr. Radio's the name that's gonna keep you sane. Where science meets life, it's the perfect blend. From sunrise to night, the knowledge doesn't end.
Hey, Deborah, how are you doing? I'm doing better now.
Dr. Radio! Your health's best friend. SiriusXM Channel 110.
Attention, small business owners. Do you need funding for your business? At LendSeek.com, we provide revenue-based working capital programs from $20,000 to $1 million. So whether it's funding for inventory, equipment, expansion, payroll, or other needs, seek no more. All it takes is just one simple application to access over 100 funding products that are powered through our breakthrough AI-enabled lending platform to get you the best options in today's marketplace. If you've been in business for at least 1 year with monthly revenue of at least $50,000, you can receive the business funding you need when it matters most, regardless of your personal credit score. Funds in your account in just 24 hours with no collateral, no prepayment penalties, and no restrictions on how you use the funds. There's no obligation and zero out-of-pocket costs. So apply for the business funding you need today at lendseek.com. That's LENDSEEK.com.
RuPaul's Drag Race is back with a wet and wild new season, and you can watch it all on MTV with Philo. What's Philo? It's 70-plus channels of live and on-demand TV for an unbeatable price. You'll get top channels like MTV, VH1, AMC, Discovery, BET, and more, plus the entire AMC Plus library, all for just $28 a month. Watch Philo with your laptop, tablet, phone, or TV, and stream on up to 3 devices at once. Create multiple profiles so you'll never have to fight over what to watch again. And you'll get an unlimited DVR so you can save all your favorite shows and movies for up to a year. This season of Drag Race is pouring on the twists, and Philo is bringing it to you for an unbeatable price. So get ready for the splashiest extravaganza yet and start watching the new season of RuPaul's Drag Race live on MTV with Philo today. Visit philo.tv to get started. That's PHILO.TV.
This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. We get to the new year going and going. So Natalia Grace is like this girl who has dwarfism, and they did it in the first season. Unbelievable. You watched the first season.
Of course.
We all love the first season.
First season's nuts.
Yes. First season's fantastic. And it's almost, I think I watched the other seasons just out of respect for how good the first season is. So the first season, they get into this story of this girl who is adopted. She's got dwarfism. She's adopted into this family, and the family starts telling all these stories that she's actually an adult. They say she has pubic hair. They say she's running a scam. They say she's trying to murder them. She's showing up at their bedside with a knife. Now, I remember even watching that part, I was like, you mean to tell me that an adult wants to murder you, lives in your house for years, and cannot figure out how to get the job done? Lives in your house for years. The hard part, I would think, of doing a murder is getting in the house, finding them in a vulnerable position. You sleep in the same house. I feel like if this girl wanted to do it, they were like, no, she put like dish soap in my coffee because she was trying to kill me. And Natalia Grace is sitting over there going like, I don't know what these people are talking about. So they go to court, the court announced that she's an adult, and she's like, I'm definitely not an adult. And they're like, you definitely are. You're moving into an apartment by yourself. And so now she's like 8 and has dwarfism and is living in an apartment by herself. It's just terrible.
And they say she's like 23.
Right. They're like, no, you're 23. You're definitely 23. She's like, I promise I'm 8. They're like, nope. You're a 23-year-old liar is what you are.
And then they put her in an apartment with like huge steps to go up in it.
That's that's the second apartment. When the first apartment doesn't go well, because she's an 8-year-old dwarf. So, you're not really good at living by yourself. They put her in another apartment. They move her several towns away so they don't have to deal with her. They move her into a terrible part of town. And it's like, like you're saying, like a 3-story walk-up with gunshots going off. And so she ends up moving into this house with the people we were talking about last week, Bishop Antoine Mans and his wife. And so the first season is all about like the story that this family told, and then in the second half turning it around and realizing that this family was being horrible to her, making her stand in the corner and piss all over herself, kicking her down the stairs, all that stuff. All that stuff is in there. And the second season is about Natalia Grace, happily ever after. She's living with Bishop Antoine Mans and his wife, and she's going to confront this dad of hers, Michael, who's incredible, and everything's great. And then the season ends, with a phone call to the producers from Bishop Antoine Mans, which is how you would, he's a bishop.
Yeah, well.
Who says...
We get to the bottom of that, but...
Who says...
Well, I still think he's a bishop because I haven't seen the 3rd season.
Oh, yeah, wait till you find out how he got his title. Who says... I wrote the phrase down because it wasn't just that she was not doing well. Oh, yeah. He says Natalia is tweaking. That's right. He called the producers of the doc and said, this girl is tweaking.
Real bishop speak.
Yes, she was tweaking, and so she couldn't live with them anymore. So that's where we start season 3. And as it turns out, Natalia has met a significant other on the internet. Neil. I forgot about his name. Neil, whose privacy is protected, but he lives in the UK. And Neil is trying to help Natalia.
Is he real?
Yes, he is real.
Okay.
He's trying to help Natalia Grace because, as it turns out, it was not the reason she was tweaking was because the Bishop Antoine Mans and his significant other, what's her name? Cynthia? Is that right?
Cynthia Mans.
Cynthia Mans were controlling Natalia Grace. They were controlling her. They were blackmailing her. They were taking all of her money. They were being abusive. And they didn't say, here's how they describe the abuse. They said giving her whoopings. I don't know if you heard that, Troy. Whoopings, specifically. And they said you can't give a dwarf whoopings. They could be paralyzed because their spine is so fragile. So then, Travis, I know what you're thinking.
Go ahead.
We need another family.
Good Lord.
Bro, it's like...
Oh, they don't show Neil's face.
No, they don't show Neil's face.
Oh.
Protect his privacy.
Anonymity.
That's right.
Natalia got a little glow up, didn't she?
Well, she got a glow up. She got a glow up because she moved in with yet another family.
Oh, my God.
There's a family called the DePauls. And the DePauls are like, no, the first family Natalia lived with when she was a baby, no good. Michael and his family, no good.
But they were supposed to be good.
Whoa, the first family?
No, the second, the Manses.
No, the Manses is the third.
Oh, the Manses is the
There
third.
was a first, and then it was the Michael family, no good. The Manses we thought were good, but the DePauls find out that the Manses are no good, and Natalia starts texting the DePauls because I guess Natalia lived with the DePauls for like 6 months or something.
Yes.
Like she had a Christmas over there, and so the DePauls are like, she's like the daughter we never had, and I'm like, you had one Christmas with her.
And meanwhile, the DePauls are dwarfs.
They're dwarfs, but they have a dwarf daughter who seems to be very well adjusted and taken care of.
Yeah.
Like, clearly she wasn't moved into an apartment at 8 years old and said, you got this.
Oh, and they got some dogs, too.
They got dogs. They got a whole house. They're married. The wife, DePaul, is making sex jokes because she loves her husband. It's great. It's very healthy. Very healthy. So what they do is they go, Natalia goes, I got to get out of here. And the DePauls are like, we got you.
See, this is where it left hanging.
Okay.
You want me to tell you?
I mean, I'll watch it. I know what happens.
Okay.
Yeah.
The DePauls are like, you don't mind, Travis.
No.
Okay.
No.
I feel like me
For the
kind
integrity of the show.
Wrapping this up in a radio segment is probably gonna.
This is gonna save me about 3 hours of my life.
I mean, it's crazy. Yeah. It's crazy the amount of stretching they do.
So I got to catch up on Severance.
So yeah, watch your Severance show. So they go. Natalia goes, I gotta get out of here. These Mans are crazy. They're crazy. The Manses are nuts.
And he's not a bishop.
Okay,
you want me to explain?
I don't know. We got like 10 minutes.
No. We got plenty of time.
Okay, all right.
We got all the time in the world. Whatever this takes is what this takes. Okay. I'm not gonna be constrained here.
I like
this. Has to be said.
Let's go.
It has to be done.
Let's take our time.
So, as it turns out,
played these games before.
the Manses, the bishop.
Antoine?
Bishop Antoine Mans, he had some kind of deposition, right?
Okay.
Where they said to him, nobody anointed you a bishop, correct? Like, who gave you the title of bishop? And what was it? How did he get that title? Do you remember what he said?
I think he just said he gave it to himself.
Well, he said he got his title from praying to his God.
Oh, yeah.
His relationship with God gave him the title. And they said, so there was no sort of presiding body that gave you the title of bishop. He was like, I mean, no, not a specific. I mean,
so he's a grifter.
Well, he's accused of that.
Oh, is he really?
Yeah, they literally use the word grifter. He's absolutely accused of that. And apparently, there's this thing that happens where kids who are disabled get money from the government.
Oh, my God.
And if you adopt all of them,
you get money.
You get all their money. And sometimes Natalia Grace gets a whole bunch of money, and you can buy a house with it if you're declared her payee.
And did she figure this out? Is that where
she kind of figured it out, but she's so baked in that she still like feels an obligation to keep paying. And also, well, I'll tell you in a second. So she goes to the DePauls. She goes, "This is a madhouse. I got to get out of here."
Can I ask a question?
Please.
How does she meet the DePauls?
She knew them from when she was adopted, when she was living with them for 6 months. When she was a kid. So when she was like, whatever, a kid, 6, 7, 8, 9, I don't know. She spent like a few months with them and had a Christmas with them.
So this is like, you know, reigniting the flame of your high school sweetheart.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right, except the whole family.
Gotcha.
And she goes, "I got to get out of here." And the DePaul wife goes, "We got you."
Okay.
And she's like, "Okay, but like the Mans won't let me leave." And
they have to talk through some weird app.
Right.
Because the Manses are
they take the phone, they take the internet,
what she's doing on the phone.
That's right. And so even though Natalia Grace is like 20 at this point, like she's not a child anymore.
She's 21, Jesus.
Right. So the DePauls go, "No worries, we'll set up a spy operation. We can do a spy op." And Natalia Grace goes, "Perfect." She goes, "Here's the plan. We go to church at 7 p.m. You guys drive 16 hours from your place because also the Mans took her ID. So she can't fly anywhere even if she wanted to. She can't get her ID back. So she's like, "Here's what you do. You drive to the church 16 hours from your house across multiple states. Hang out outside the church. Don't get out of your car. Wait for me to get there. Then I'll excuse myself for just a moment to walk outside. Then you throw me in that truck and drive away."
At her house.
At the church.
At the church, I'm
sorry.
sorry.
At the church, yes.
And am I reading this right? This is 3 days before Christmas?
Maybe.
Quite possibly.
In the middle of the night?
Yes,
Okay.
7 p.m. 7 p.m.
Okay.
Or 7:30 maybe.
Okay.
And the DePauls go, "All right, yeah, bet."
See you there.
Bet is what they say. And so she's sitting there, and she's like, "Oh, my God, it's already 7:03. I'm going to be late." They pull up to the church. A security guard comes up to them. "What are you guys doing here? What are you guys doing here?" They go, "Oh, I don't know. We're just waiting. Don't even worry about it." Okay? And then Natalia Grace gets there with the Manses. And they all walk into the church and they go, "Is she going to come out? Is she going to come out?" And then Natalia Grace walks out of the church. And the minute she walks out of the church, all the DePauls, and everybody's little. And they all get out of the car, and as quickly as they can, they load Natalia Grace into this car and drive away. And they're gone.
Is this filmed?
Yes.
I might need to watch that.
It's all filmed. Right. And they drive away, and they go on a 16-hour road trip. And then the man start texting Natalia Grace. And this Cynthia Mann, she goes, "Where'd you go?" She's like,
right, I was going to ask, like, how long until they're like...
Real quick, because she was supposed to leave. She was going to come right back and go to church, and now she's with the DePauls. But they know the Mans know the DePauls, by the way. They know what they're up to.
Oh.
So Cynthia Mans goes, "Where'd you go?" And Natalia Grace goes, "I escaped with the DePauls."
Ha ha ha.
And Cynthia Mans goes, "Can we still be your payee?"
Oh my
What a piece of shit.
And Natalia Grace goes, "Yeah."
Oh,
Of course. Of course. No problem. So now the story of this thing is, number one, they start exposing the Mans as people who are not as maybe charitable as they perceive themselves. They talk to this guy, Ed Ramey, who's got a big hernia belly button.
I was going to ask what this is.
Right. So that's Ed Ramey. See his big hernia belly button?
I do, and it's really weird.
The producers go up to him and they go, "Tell me the real deal with the Mans." And Ed Ramey lets us know.
Okay.
They hit him. If you can.
Hang on, sorry, I wasn't ready.
No, it's all good.
My name's Eddie Ramey. First encounter I had with them, he used to have a car, got $5,000 paint job on it, and my son. And then accidentally denting their little rubber ball hit it. And
look at his belly button.
I can't look at anything else.
Beat him up. Don't give me a shirt off.
Okay, that's really all I took away from that.
You know, the house is out that the man's lived in.
I really more like the part where he goes, I'm gonna really give you the scoop here. Let me go get a shirt on. And then, yeah.
Oh, wait, see, it's hard.
It's hard. That's why it was hard for me to time code it too.
Anyway,
because all the stories about the Manses are not really that catastrophically bad. I think by a lot of them, but it's especially so. There's that one. There's Eddie Ramey, who's got his hernia belly button sticking out, and he goes, the man's threatened to beat up my kid after he dented their car.
It's actually a good story.
Hang on, let me get a shirt on for this. I'm like, whoa, I can't wait to hear about this. Then there's another neighbor who's like, oh yeah, Cynthia Mans, she babysat my kid and gave him a whooping. And then the Mans are like, that guy's a convicted sex offender or something like that. And it's just everybody's messy. Everybody's a mess. And so but the story of the Natalia Grace family, the DePauls now, while all this is going on with the Mans, is that Natalia Grace still has some kind of weird loyalty to the Mans. So the DePauls are going out of their way to make things so easy for Natalia Grace. But Natalia Grace is like, no, the Mans are okay. And the DePauls are like...
But she wanted to escape them.
The DePauls are like, whenever the cameras are on, Natalia Grace is saying they're great. But when the cameras are off, Natalia Grace is saying not so great at all. And I don't know what's going on.
Do you think any of this has to do with now that she has a taste of notoriety? She's just... Everybody is creating chaos to just stay in the public eye and keep these checks from the ID channel or whatever coming.
I mean, it's possible because we did get Michael back.
I see that.
And
He's looking good.
I couldn't believe this was his only scene in the whole thing. I waited all 4 episodes to see if we were getting more Michael. And this was the only Michael that we got. I mean, he delivered in his short time. But this was Michael. This is the original dad who we love, who threw a baseball bat in the first season, who is just everything about him is a performance. He's wearing David Muir t-shirts, even though he doesn't have the physique of David Muir.
Oh.
With his Burnsides.
Yeah, he's got
and his aviators looking cool. Okay, here's Michael. This is the original bad dad of Natalia Grace.
After 12 years of this mess, with Natalia, I'm just trying to move on. I'm going to do everything I can to not think about it.
Okay. Little tease. Oh, we got Michael. He's in front of a fountain.
If I'm going to be judged on something, I'd rather it be judged on my entire story, front to back, every last thing that's ever happened to me in my entire life, and not just a headline.
Nice.
Natalia deserves happiness, and I hope she's able to find happiness, and I hope she's able to breathe. When I think about Antoine, he is nightmare fuel. Picture an enigmatic leader. He requires people to refer to him as Bishop. Not sure where he got that from. I remember growing up in Chicagoland with Cardinal Joseph Bernardine. I'm not sure he ever anointed Antoine as such.
Okay, skip ahead now.
Earn the title Bishop?
That's all the Bishop deposition. Because then Michael gets a little more in. Because Michael, what's great about Michael is he can get that theatrical and dramatic about what's going on. But also, what's been consistent with Michael is he's figured out that even with everything that happened to Natalia Grace, he is really good at uncovering the fact that it's actually Michael who's the victim.
Oh.
Yeah. And once again, wait till, not only is he the victim again, but wait till you see this aha moment. As he's sitting there, he goes, he figures this out for the first time. He can't believe it.
About Antoine referring to himself as Bishop and demanding other people call him Bishop. It seems like it's his world and everybody else must cow to him. He is a controlling entity that prevents you from leaving, having free thought. Any idea how similar that sounds?
Oh.
I was cut off. Money was siphoned away from my sons to the Wicked Witch. Holy
Natalia is in extreme danger.
There it is. Holy shits. Like he just figured out this revelation. The same thing happened to me. I mean, Natalia. So, long story short, they do 2 full episodes of drama around the DePauls, trying to help Natalia. Natalia doesn't want the help. She's like, at one point, she wants to move back with the Mans, and then she's not moving back with the Mans. It's just like, just nonsense upon nonsense upon nonsense.
Does she want to move back because there's an issue with the DePauls?
Well, no. There's a theory that there is blackmail on Natalia, because as it turns out, Natalia is extremely sexual.
What?
Well, you kind of knew that in the other episodes.
But wait till you hear this. The DePaul mom, the DePaul mom is a cool mom.
Okay? Oh, not like the other moms?
No.
Okay.
She's more like the type of mom, if you're going to drink, do it under my roof. Natalia Grace has this boyfriend in England, right? She likes to do phone sex with him.
Okay.
And the theory is that the Mans have some kind of blackmail, and that's why, Natalia Grace was so worried about it. But the reason we find this out is because Natalia is, like, very loud sexually in the DePaul's house. Like, she closes her bedroom door and does a lot of, like, moaning and shouts out the name of her UK boyfriend and all this stuff.
Grown woman.
And that's what the mom says. She goes, she's a grown woman. That's okay. And she shows a text. There are times where I've had to text and say, hey, it's no problem. Could you just keep it down? You've woken me up twice already.
Wow.
Yes. And then the best part is that they put soundproof paneling on Natalia Grace's door on the inside.
Like, that's how bad it got.
Yes. They put soundproof paneling on the inside of her door so she can moan to her heart's content. Which, I mean, dude, if you got a family, I know you've been through it, but if you've got a family who is willing to do that, put up foam paneling so you can have UK phone sex, come on.
You don't think the Manses would do that?
I don't think the Manses would do that at all. So eventually, at the end, it's a happy ending.
Oh, good.
We get free from the Manses. There's even a little thing where it's like they're gonna let her, the DePauls are like, you're an adult, you can go do what you want. They have to go and refile to get her ID, to get her passport so she can go to the UK and meet this boyfriend. As it turns out, it seems like the boyfriend is a good person. But what happens is...
The Manses seem like they were good people.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't know what to believe.
That's what I'm saying. I'm ready for another one where it goes, everybody's monsters. But what happens is when they go to refile for her passport and ID and everything, the court goes, yeah, you're 21. And so they re-aged her. So now she's back to being legally the appropriate age that she was supposed to be from the beginning.
Oh, my God.
How good.
Right? So that's the happy ending.
Okay.
And then go to the clip at 36. We can skip this legal. I mean, the blonde legal expert.
Oh, yeah.
She's insane. Everything she says, she's the narrator. She's not like she doesn't talk like she doesn't talk like a human being. But at the very end of the last episode of season 4, I'm watching. I had no idea until I was watching it. This comes on.
The mysteries of Natalia Grace puzzled so many investigators and captivated millions.
Now a story making headlines around the world.
Curious case of Natalia Grace.
Me and Hot Dog are on there. I was like, I'm sitting there by episode 4 going, I cannot believe I watched 4 episodes of this. I'm exhausted. It's gross. And then there's Sam and Hot Dog, and I go, all right,
that's
here
awesome.
we go. Big money.
Grand finale.
I said it was all worth it.
Yeah, it was. That's awesome.
I go, Jess, wake up. I'm in the show. She goes, are you still watching that show? I go, you're missing the point. I was on the show.
That's so cool, dude.
See?
You were in the other one, too.
It's the same thing.
Oh. Okay.
They just reused the same.
It's still cool.
But it's still, I mean, it counts as both. Still cool.
Did they have to get clearance for that?
They got clearance for it on the last season.
Oh, so they can just redo
So I guess I signed to it in perpetuity. Probably should have thrown that one by my lawyer, but figured I'd just put the old John Hancock on there.
It is what it is.
Yeah, I'm happy. I mean,
Look at you.
I want to be in there. Look at that.
Look at Hot Dog.
Hot Dog's in, and
All the
see,
stupid framed things in the background.
well, those are the pictures he's taken. And Hot Dog says I don't put him on. Right? You know what I mean? The way Hot Dog treats me, and the way I put him on. I got him on 2 seasons of Curious Case of Natalia Grace. And people love Curious Case of Natalia Grace. Ooh, maybe take that Hogan action figure off the desk there. Yeah, don't love that that's in the bottom corner.
That's NWO.
That's Hollywood Hogan. I think Hollywood Hogan's okay.
And if you wouldn't have said it, I wouldn't even noticed.
People just looking at it going, boo.
People are like, I didn't know the Chocolate Rain guy had a podcast.
Yeah, so that's what Tay's been up to.
Got the Sam Roberts Now logo in there. That's awesome.
Branding.
Come on. But I really put Hot Dog on, don't I?
You do.
Yeah.
And he just doesn't give a fuck.
You don't think so?
No.
I mean, it would have been nice if they could have done you right. Like Tiger King 2, you guys are in like the first 5 minutes.
First 5 minutes,
you got to sit through 4 episodes of this crap.
And by the way, like, this is a clip from a longer show. You could have given me a widescreen treatment.
Yeah.
You didn't have to use the I mean, I know you just want to go to the clip. It's easier, but...
Yeah, that would have been the solid thing to do.
That would have been a little more solid. I don't know how these producers missed that the Mans were such bad people for a whole season of television.